hold on. Good news is I can talk over this because it's not like the audio is gonna catch anyway. It's all replaced. Hey Gallagher, working on leveling up your machinist to 14. Nice, nice. Hey Wesley, how are you? To be honest, I'm actually kind of excited to cut through this game really quickly because I'm just gonna tune it down to like normal mode, or not actually even easy mode, and just blaze through with all my like what level 50 characters with all the max gear and maxed out materia, and I can't remember what it's called, but the relic that lets you start every battle with a limit break. It's gonna be nice. So let me know if the audio is too loud. I'm trying to balance it right now. I think it looks pretty okay. This title screen is pretty loud. Alright, it's been a minute. Look at my 80 and a half hour did everything run. One thing I want to do is I also want to just do the game with everybody's default weaponry on and like the default costumes and everything like that. Oh, that's right, this is the very end, so I have to load a new, or chapter select a new game. We're not going to do it on hard mode. I already did it on hard mode. I already proved that we can play this game on hard mode. Let's just do easy. We're going to have a nice chill time. I can't wait to see how incredibly easy mode's going to be. I think it's been 2 years since this game came out. Let me get my text editor up. Directed by Tetsuya Nomura. And then good old Motomu Toriyama. Written by Kazushige Nojima, who's written like half the series. I'm definitely gonna have to re-remember how to fight in this game because it's been over a year since I played this game. I do not remember any of the controls. Hopefully my setup of materia on my characters will figure it out. Kalama, can't decide between pizza or Chinese while watching the stream? If I was given the option, I would personally pick Chinese, because pizza is common enough. To me, Chinese is a treat, or at least that's how I view it for myself. I have pizza so often that Chinese to me is a treat. Baron, how can the Buster Sword bust more? Easy, exactly. We're gonna bust out with this Buster Sword. Video's lagging? Oof. Oh, actually, yeah, it's dropping frames right now for the stream. No, it's not just, it's not you guys, it's definitely on my end. For some reason, I see the bitrate go up and down wildly right now, I don't know why. The good news is I'm recording this independently of the stream. I can definitely say this though, the frame rate is noticeably better on the hardware upgrade.
Get down here, Merc.
Shit, I still have my other sword out. Alright, that's gonna look awkward in the editing, but whatever. That's fine, I can always record that again. Okay. Oh, I can actually edit everybody's even though they're not in the party anymore. Cool, okay, well first things first, put everybody on the default shit. What material did I have on this? I have to learn all the control all over again. I had healing tied to magnify. Lightning with MP absorb, that's right. HP up, MP up as always. Leviathan. Alright, it's a 6 slot. I think the Buster Sword is a 6 slot too, right? Yeah, it is. Good. It doesn't look like it should really matter with Tifa because it's just her gloves. But we're still going to go for authenticity. We're still going to do just the basic stuff. And that's one thing I liked about this game is that it didn't matter. All the gear was good in some specific way. I think that was super nice, the way that it made gear relevant. Is this the PS5 version? Yes. Yeah, try reloading, Gyogre. What did I have on Barret? Yeah, I remember putting Prayer on Barret being one of the smartest ideas, because Barret builds AP so quick that he was just constantly churning out healing for everybody for free, and that was super useful on hard mode. You save so much MP. I mean, this setup got me through hard mode, so I can't imagine it being terrible. Okay, we got our default gear. Let's go. Is this the PS5 version? It is.
You're up.
You're coming with us. Nice and easy.
Don't think so.
At least I don't have to worry about... Actually, do I keep all of the crap that I've gained? Yeah, I have so much crap. I don't need to get anything. Yeah, I have so much crap. At least I don't have to worry about chests. Do I keep... Yeah, I do keep all the extra stuff here. I forgot about all this.
wanna help?
This is gonna be such a chill, steamrolling Buster's sword walkthrough.
Have fun.
How much damage do they do to me?
Freeze! Move and we shoot.
Go ahead.
You like this?
Yeah, I think we're good.
Enough of this. It's over.
We're just toying with him now. Oh, that's right, you have to do these actions. I'm relearning the game's controls.
You got this.
Yeah, what'd he say? You're coming with us.
Can't get surrounded. See ya. That it?
You have too many effing potions. Drink a potion. No, I don't want to drink a potion.
So what's Soldier Boy's deal? Is he one of us now? He's got balls, this, what was his name again?
Cloud Strife.
Right.
And he isn't a soldier anymore. Still, he's a professional, unlike the rest of us. I'm glad to have him.
This is a one-time gig. When it's done, we're done.
Really enjoy to work with him.
The times are tough. Cloud has to take
Yeah,
gig
to
work.
look at, too.
You'll keep us safe,
Here
right,
we go.
Cloud?
He's also an Uber driver.
People notice first.
Guess I'm not on the same page.
I don't even remember how to cast magic.
Enough. We're done here.
Or even the same.
Give it a rest.
Come on, nobody do something this crazy just for money. They may not think you're a true believer, but you know what I think?
Not interested.
What?
Wedge. You better be worth the money, Merc. Every last gil.
How much gil do I have on me? I wonder if any of my crap transfers over to the DLC. It probably doesn't. It's lagging a lot for you, Jay Lee. Sorry. I really don't know why. It's spiking all up and down here. I don't even remember what the special attacks do. I'm gonna have to relearn all of this. That's the part that sucks about, Oh, I have 450,000 gil. Okay, I'm pretty good.
Get him, boy!
Now you're in for it.
Okay, before I do
Guess
this,
you're first.
that's lock on. Alright, so that's what that does. Alright, hold on. Oh, that's right. And I have to have ATB for cast spells. That's right. What was block? That was block.
Let's go.
Yeah, sorry about the internet spikes. I see it jump up to like 10,000 and then go down to like 100, and it's spiking all over the place, and I don't know why. It could be the PS5 itself. I've never streamed for the PS5 yet.
This way. Huh. Not so fast. We've got company.
This will be quick. I'll end this. Enough.
Alright. Oh, that's right. And you could toggle the strength.
Bird.
Nice. 1337.
That
Good
it?
stuff.
Nothing to it.
Come on, Cloud.
Pick up the pace.
The music just cuts off.
Soldiers may attack on command, but I hear they make good guard dogs too. Bet you've seen a few reactors. So how do we get to the bridge above Mako storage? Ain't holding out on me, are you? Stamp scared to bite the hand that fed him? Or is he a loyal little doggy? Have it your way, Mutt. We can do this with you, or we can do this without you.
Different reactor, different layout. Depends when it was built. Never seen one like this, but I'll manage.
Don't you worry. Biggs will have the door open soon.
In 3, 2... Damn, I'm good.
Who's there? Door! Whoa, wait! It's over!
That's my line.
He's alone! We can take him!
That's that.
We're back.
Then let's move.
He always knows just what to say.
Cut it out! Simmer down, hotshot.
It's a good thing I know someone who can get us the passcodes. Pity no one else at command will talk to us, but what can you do? And we're good.
Careful in there.
Will they remake this recap 13 years later? Nah.
I got this place covered.
I'll double dip.
So, you know Tifa, right? It's not really my business, but are you guys close?
I wonder if they fixed Tifa's door.
Cloud! Are you ignoring me?
Tifa and I.
These sewer rats appear to call themselves Avalanche, sir. We are currently investigating whether they belong to the same group that made the attempt on your life. Rest assured, our inquiries will not take much longer.
This pump's sole purpose is to drain the planet.
This is where we get the
while you
exposition
sleep,
jump,
while
which
you eat,
I never
while you
liked.
shit. It's here sucking up Mako. It doesn't rest and it doesn't care. You do realize what Mako is, don't you? Mako is the lifeblood of our world. The planet bleeds green like you and me bleed red. The hell you think's gonna happen when it's all gone, huh? Answer me! You gonna stand there and pretend you can't hear the planet crying out in pain? I know you can!
You really hear that?
Damn straight I do.
Get help.
The PS5 version has options. Over the PS4, you can select high graphics or lock it
Say that
in
again.
FPS mode. I'd probably lock it to FPS mode. But to be honest, it's running pretty smooth right now. I
I'd
mean,
worry less about
I
the
know the
planet
stream is
and
jittering
more about
because
the
of
next 5
my internet
seconds.
connection, but
Save the screaming for later.
I don't have any complaints about this frame rate. And to be honest, the game looks so good originally that, I'll be honest, I don't really see much of a difference texture-wise.
You listening, Merc? One false move. And that happens.
Well, so much for having Cloud do all the fighting. There are some places a sword just can't reach. Just bear with him for me, would you?
Yeah.
Should have asked for more money.
Gonna throw your sword at him? Let the man with the gun go to work. These tin cans ain't got nothing on me.
All done.
Huh. Cocky little bastard, ain't you?
Look what we have here.
The lasers.
I think AI Cloud would probably play a better Cloud than me because I can't
Those things
remember
hurt more than
anything.
your pride if you're careless. They'll cut you down to size and then some. But I'm guessing you've done this kind of thing before.
Yeah. Figure out the timing of the lasers. Then, make a move when they cycle off.
Exactly. I'll go first. Nothing like a little danger to get the blood pumping.
And then she dies.
Just keep those baby blues of yours on me. Not too shabby.
Did this one have a pattern?
You're doing good, soldier. Okay, let's see what's up next. And it's more of the same. Come on then. Pretty easy, right? Nice job, Cloud. Like a walk in the
First
park,
try.
huh? Not a scratch. Now, on to the objective. Look. They don't call those things sweepers for nothing. They can wipe out a whole
I love the
squad.
Gundam joke they had in the arena with like the red one. That was great.
Ha! We can take this hunk of junk.
That hunk of junk is a heavy weapons platform. If we rush in, we die.
Is that right?
Need to hit it with magic. That should give us an opening. Nothing personal. Now's our chance. Go.
go.
Don't need to tell me twice. I'm gonna enjoy it.
I'm used to seeing that animation a lot.
What are you, 20-something?
First. Huh? Soldier first class. Doesn't go into the 20s.
The hell you talking about? I mean your age, not your goddamn rank. Though for all I know, a soldier's rank could be the same as his age. Mm-hmm. Guess that makes you a 1-year-old, huh? Live and learn.
You know, looking back, I have to think that
That's our target, the reactor core. Gotta set the bomb at the bottom. Let's get down there.
God damn. I can practically taste Tamako in here. Hurry it up. My heart's pounding like a jackhammer.
Scared, huh?
More like excited. I've been dreaming about this for years.
Heads up, boys. The end's in sight. I leave the rest in your capable hands. Good luck.
it's like watching a slideshow remake. Oh my god. I really need to figure out why it's bouncing all over the place. Because right now it's going from 12,000 to 7,000 to 4,000 to 600 to 6,000. It is bouncing all over the place. And I have no idea why. It's gotta be a Streamlabs thing, right? May have to reset the stream if it continues doing this.
Run while you can. Yeah.
You think if we fell in, we'd sink right down to the bottom? To the planet's core?
No. The pump would suck us back up.
How comforting.
Let's get this boss fight out of the way, and then we'll see what's going on with the stream.
Yeah, let's do this. Let's do this.
Final slideshow 7, exactly.
All right, let's see if Little Stamp really can bite the hand that feeds. Go on, do the honors. Prove to me you're the man Tifa says you are. That you're one of us.
Never said I was. I'm just here for the paycheck.
Then do the damn job! What's wrong?
I'm fine. What about the timer?
Your call, Merc. Pretty cocky, ain't you?
There might be an update in the background. That's true. I need to check that.
You double-crossing!
Heads up!
What in the hell? Hey, how the hell do we fight this thing?
It's got reinforced armor plating, but the internals can be overloaded. Lightning magic.
No other option, huh? Hell yeah! The hell is that?
A barrier? Never seen this defense system before.
Thought you were the expert.
So what's your brilliant plan, genius? Another barrier? Bingo! Focus on that core!
Oh, now he remembers. Don't keep me waiting in suspense next time.
Watch the tail! You don't want to be hit by that laser.
Huh? So, what do we do?
Don't get hit! Take cover behind that debris. Now, go!
Oh, hell! What's it doing now?
An auto repair unit. Damn it. We gotta take it out quick or we're screwed.
Oh, I am way ahead of you, Murphy.
You got it, Fat Chocobo. Take him out.
Gotta time our attacks just right. Hold out it.
Shit, the bomb!
20 minutes until detonation.
I think Alessandro might be right. I think there might be an update running that's causing
Come on.
the frame rate to
we
be
gotta
jumping
move.
all over the place.
Where should be covering our way out? Go, go, go!
The boss sure was hard.
Concentrate. Goes all out.
You probably noticed if you just joined the chat that I'm playing on a New Game Plus file. And in a way, it's kind of fun to do it like this. It's cool to just like play it just for the story, just to get the footage and not have to worry about literally anything.
You okay?
Do I look okay? Help a girl out, would you? My hero.
Hey! We'll link up over there! Look after Jesse!
Is this normal? Nah, this is actually easy mode. But it's actually even easier because I'm importing my hard mode save. So I have max level characters, I have all the weapons, all the accessories, all the summons.
I think I see an exit. Come on.
This is just a chill, let's just have fun and get the story playthrough.
Don't look back. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
shut up and climb. You're not helping.
Sorry.
So yeah, this isn't a fresh playthrough, Alexander. Not by a long shot.
Your way.
Remember, I reviewed this when this actually first came out.
There it!
I've got you covered. Find us a way out of here.
But then...
Don't worry, I'll be fine. I've got Soldier Boy with me.
X, Soldier Boy.
They're here! Take them down!
We don't have time for this shit. The clock's ticking.
Cool it. 5 seconds is all we need.
Let's go. The others are waiting. Gotta get the hell out of here ASAP.
Try hard, I already beaten. And even then, hard mode really wasn't that bad. Because all hard mode does is it just removes your ability to use, like it just beefs up the health of everybody, and you just can't use items. And big deal. On my normal playthrough, I never used items anyway, really. If anything, the extra battles in the VR thing, those were actually challenging, for sure. I remember, like, the first few days, before, like, you know, these days it's a joke, but back when it first came out, like, figuring out the strat on how to do Bahamut and Leviathan, like, that was a real trial. These days, people speedrun that shit.
I could have done that on my own.
Sure you could. Don't screw this up.
You talking to yourself again?
Here we go. Must have missed it.
Haven't tuned in a hot minute, hope all is well. Yeah, honestly, if I can get my Wi-Fi to control, which so far seems to be behaving, we'll see. But yeah, so far we're doing great. Not gonna lie, a couple years ago when I first played this, it was so much fun that I played through, like, I did a second playthrough as soon as I finished the first one, because I wanted to see all the extra stuff hard mode would get us. And I thoroughly enjoyed playing this game. I couldn't wait to recap it. But now that I think about it, will I cover the extra DLC content? I am. I am going to cover the DLC content. I actually haven't played the DLC content. That's that'll be new for me. And I'm thinking going forward, there's not really a reason these days to wait like a year like I used to do a game and then do its extra stuff. I can always do the extra stuff later. What's the big deal about making like a small 4-minute recap? Lord knows I've done it before. So...
Doors open.
Also, as much as I do enjoy the remake, I would be lying if I said I wasn't jealous to see this much amount of effort be put into one game when I really wish that they put it into other installments in the Final Fantasy franchise.
I'll take that as a yes.
But as long as Yoshinori Kitase is running things, it will be Final Fantasy VII with the side of Final Fantasy VII. Because he has to protect his precious baby.
Okay, that was pretty cool. All right, come on.
All the same, they did a really good job with this game. I think I gave this game a B+ when it first came out. I think that's still very fair. I remember triggering so many people with the review that I put out because they did like my opening of just making fun of how Final Fantasy was since Final Fantasy X, how formulaic it actually is.
Looks like we made it. And
Good
with
job,
nothing
guys.
but a
Chapter 1
few
down.
scratches to show. Think you might have overdone it?
I followed the instructions to the letter. Maybe it triggered a reaction with the Mako?
Well, let's hope the city's still in one piece.
But the planet's what matters, right? I mean, this must have helped some.
After all that, it had better have. Anyway, let's get going. We in Sector 8?
That'd be just down there.
All right then, lead the way.
You got it. Huh.
One of the things that I loved about this, and I'm gonna be probably repeating a lot of points if you watch my review. By the way, watch my
Watch
review.
out for live wires. They're everywhere.
Is one of the strengths of this game that puts it heads and shoulders above
The air in here reeks. Can't wait to get out in the open.
the original installment is the effort and focus on characterization. The original has actually very bad characterization.
What is that?
A lot of characters, for the most part, are just one note. They don't really go through interesting ranges. Most of them don't have a reason to be there. The party cohesion is actually pretty terrible. But in here, we actually get real conversations, depth, like you get personalities. You see depths of character. You see
Guts.
They just keep
a range of emotions,
We need to get out of this.
and not just in terms of just having it just facetiously there. The conversations seem natural. They seem organic. The dialogue is actually, they talk like normal people. And they talk in line with how they would talk. They don't talk like how somebody who would just be
Fuel at the base.
regurgitating lines or exposition.
That's about as good a place as any.
Stand back then. I'll set the
The
bomb.
combat system I especially love.
Can't wait to see you.
Can't comment on the weight-based mode that they have because I didn't indulge in that too often, but the actual combat mode I think is fantastic. I think they did such a good job of making sure everyone had a strength that was leveraged, that served a purpose.
Fire in the hole!
Yeah, Barrett, in my opinion, is one of the best versions I've seen in terms of the improvements of like their original version versus this version. This version of Barrett is so damn good. It's much better than the version we seen in the original 7. It's so much better than the version we saw in Before Crisis. It's not even close. It's a cheap point, and I don't rate it for the review itself, but I absolutely love the renditions of a lot of the music tracks they've done in this game. It's no small feat to take a bunch of tracks, because that's one thing that the original always had even back then. No dispute, no matter what you think about the game, the music was very good. And in this one, to ask people to remix tracks that have been remixed and redone and reimagined for pretty much 20 years, not just by professionals, but by the fans as well, that's a tall order. And the fact that they knocked it out of the park here, for the most part,
It ain't pretty, but we can't stop now.
is
This
still
was
really
the first
just
reactor,
commendable.
And the planet won't be safe till we get the rest.
Yeah. We always knew this was gonna get messy.
And this
One of the things that I like that they do
beginning.
here too is they introduce Sephiroth very
Y'all gotta look
early.
at the bigger
I think that's
picture
very
here.
good.
Nothing worth fighting for was ever won without sacrifice. Though you may not be crying out, I know you're in pain, just like the planet. But it's okay, cause I'm here for you, to help take the load off your shoulders.
Help bear the load. Share the load, Frodo.
Your fears, your worries, your concerns, and yes, your
Bet you can't wait for the next installment. I can wait. They can take their time, which I know they're going to.
So, what's
But
our
I do
next
have to, of
move,
course,
boss?
point out how incredibly controversial this game was.
asses home.
Not just for people who are ready to hate on the very notion that Final Fantasy VII, a game that in their eyes was a game that was did not warrant a remake, versus people like me who said there was plenty to remake, there was plenty to improve on the original,
We'll split up and shoot for
and
the last train home. Regroup in the
versus the people who
Later then.
played this game, or rather they learned that it was going to be a multi-part installment, versus the amount of people who also
My money now.
You can have it once we're back at base.
versus the people that shall we say, if you're not aware of how the game ends, that rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. That's still a discussion point to today. Nobody actually knows what exactly is going on. There's plenty of theory, plenty of speculation, plenty of clues, but nobody's actually going to know until the next game.
It's healing materia.
You can have it for saving my life.
I'll throw in the pile with my other 12 healing materia.
Yeah. Fact is, I'm lucky you were there.
Survival can be a matter of luck or skill.
Why not both?
You can't rely on luck.
Words to live by.
Yeah, well, thanks.
You do know how to use it, right?
You do know what I was, right?
Okay, I was only trying to help. Oh, before I forget, here's a little something extra for being so brave. That really was the ride of a lifetime. Well, see you on the train.
A lot of this is also still quite atmospheric. Like, you can't exactly go and interact with people. This isn't exactly a living world so much. You're mostly just kind of here to absorb the area as is. And that's fine. If anything, that's just like the original.
Up here! Look up! I said look up! Careful up here. This could collapse at any moment. If you want up, you'll have to use those stairs.
Is there a shelter around?
But the fact still remains that while this may alienate people that did have those reservations that would firmly prefer the original 7 for whatever their reasons, this did introduce a whole new generation and a whole new brand new set of eyes to the franchise, to the IP, for better or for worse.
Station's intact.
And that's just kind of what you do. That's kind of how it goes when it comes to generational titles like this. Regardless, some do change what they say and react to you. Sure, in very specific cases like Wall Market, for example, there's a lot of reaction to what Cloud does in both the arena and like once you get your dress, for example. But that's a very curated event. That's what Ever Crisis is for, to be closer to the original format, but still refreshed. I question that. Because even Ever Crisis being like, oh, look, it's basically trying to be the original, but the complete story, it's what people wanted. I'll tell you a fun little secret when it comes to game development. It comes to pretty much any major fan base. When it comes to what they say they want. Fans never know what they want. They only know what they like. The people that say that just take the original game and put a new coat of paint on it, those people do not know what they ask for. They also don't realize that's not what they actually want. They think they do, but that's not what they actually want.
Wait.
What strengths, if any, does the original have over the remake? The ability to fly an airship. I mean, driving vehicles in general, I think, was something I personally liked in the original. I am willing to bet hard money you will not get that in the remake. They're probably going to do like they did with, you know, 10 onward, which is you just select a location and just warp over there.
You're dead.
I am.
It will never be just a memory cloud.
My own.
Oh, you need not remind me. It was the crowning moment of our time together. But that was then, and this is now. I have a favor to ask. Our beloved planet is
We'll
dying.
settle this in Smash, Cloud.
Slowly. Silently.
I do have to wonder, though, again,
Can you bear
when we get
to
around
see
to
the
it,
planet suffer?
which version of Nibelheim are we gonna get?
Cloud.
To me, it's always such a running joke. Because you have 4 different people telling events of how Nibelheim went down, and all of them are different.
So many things will be lost. Your hometown, an earth so bright. The sound of her voice, pleading beneath despair. The shiver of her flesh, yielding to cold steel. That which binds us together would be no more, and I would be loath to live in such a world, which is why I must ask you this one favor. Don't worry, it's a simple thing. Run, Cloud. Run away. You have to leave. You have to live.
You bastard!
Good, Cloud. Very good. Hold on to that hatred.
I'm seeing things. Fumes from all the Mako, maybe. All right. You got this.
I'm gonna miss my train! Get away from there.
What did we do to deserve this?
Just breathe. No, Shinra's on it.
Man, what a mess.
The reactor. It just... Do what you like. I'm taking the kids to safety.
I think this is what people expect from a modern linear game, too. As we move away from that old stigma that held on for about a decade, where open world is what everyone wants and linear is a bad word. That used to be a mentality. Edgardo, very true, some fandoms are very hypocritical and divisive at times, not always, but it happens. I don't know, Edgardo. I believe that, I don't know, show me a fan base that does not have division in it.
Not even yourself.
Are you okay? Hey, are you okay?
I'm fine.
Because fan bases themselves are just,
Here,
you know,
This is for you.
a hobby-based tribalism.
A flower?
That's
And
right.
even in that, you're
It's a
gonna
gift,
have different opinions.
You know, for scaring those things away.
What things?
Never mind. Think of it as a memento.
Just my luck.
I heard that, you know.
How much?
Well, that depends on the customer. In your case, it's on the house.
Huh?
Lovers used to give these when they were reunited.
Look, I'm involved in things. Dangerous things.
Oh, I'm sure you
Coco,
are.
I disagree that fans
So?
don't know what they want. I am one of
So
those
keep
that
your
would have preferred the
distance.
original story, but the story was good enough on its own.
You think someone's out to get you? Is that what you're all worked up about? Relax. No one's going to attack you. I promise.
Hey,
Here's what I
Mako
mean,
reactor
Coco,
is
when I
blue.
made that
Shouldn't be out
fans
here
don't
trying
know
to
what they
sell
want. So here's whenever you ask what a fan wants of a game,
Help me!
most of them are going to give you very vague, unusable feedback. They're going to say, I want good graphics, good gameplay, a better story, characters I care about. What does any of that mean? None of that actually translates to actionable items. You need to be able to concretely give examples of every single one of those. They don't know what they want. You don't actually explicitly know what you want in most cases. Like, you know what you would like, though. What people are describing is what they would like.
Are you blind?
You know, you're right.
And even with, like, just don't change anything with the story, just improve the graphics. Improve the graphics how? Go with a different style?
Meeting you.
What sort of style should we go? Should we go with photorealistic? Should we go with cinema quality? Should we go with slightly anime look? Should we go with a refinement of the original polygons?
Right now!
What's the right answer? And the question, and the result is there is no right answer. There's no such thing or right or wrong. It's just actions and consequences. Because no matter who you ask, you're going to get a different response.
Nothing to it.
And even then, one thing I've learned from Recap is that people, and myself included, which is part of the reason why I made Recap, anybody who claims that they have amazing memory and can remember anything, like from especially like a 20-something-year-old game, you are joking yourself. There is always something different, or something misremembered, or something interpreted differently, or a scene taken a different way. And that's true for so many people. So it's really not a simple question. I don't remember this fire truck being here. Or maybe I do. I don't remember.
There he is! You're not going anywhere!
Was never in doubt.
All clear.
No more playing nice. Time to burn. You're done. You're mine. It's over. Nothing to it.
Am I going the right way, am I? No, I'm not. The cannon police. I used to call them the plot device ghosts. Or the plot armor ghosts.
Just give it up! Don't
I remember when this game was first showcased, this fountain area and the combat system was shown off.
There's nowhere to run!
No escape. Let's finish this. That's that. See ya.
Target sighted! I repeat, target sighted! Customers, prep for immediate deployment! Troopers on standby!
No holding back.
You are clear to engage!
Anytime now.
Be advised, target is
Don't let him escape! Give up!
Ground forces engaging target in Cotton Plaza. All nearby units disperse and provide immediate support.
That's that. See ya. It's over.
Apparently this remake includes all the original plots in this time travel game that includes the original timelines. So here's the funny thing. All that's still speculation. If you got that perspective from like a YouTuber, you have to take that with a grain of salt. They don't know. And the cool thing is that the developers and writers and directors, they haven't really shown their hand yet either. They've done a wonderful job of concealing the conclusion of this game, for example. What on earth makes you think they're going to be honest about revealing the secrets before the game comes out? It's fun to speculate, though, for sure.
Target sighted! Get him!
It's all or nothing now.
One thing that the greater FF universe certainly could do with is a finalization of all the retcons, because as the series has only expanded, they've added more and more retcons.
Let's go.
I see him!
Now you're in for it. That's that. That it?
Confirmed. Target has entered residential area. Full lockdown is in effect. All units.
You're mine now!
See ya. Let's go.
Target spotted. Moving to
Going
intercept.
all out. This'll... Not bad.
Get the bastard!
I'll end this. That's that.
He's here! This'll hurt!
See ya. This'll... Enough.
Yoink.
Enemy combatants, you have been warned. Surrender yourself to public security
No more
immediately.
playing nice. See ya.
You have nowhere to run.
That's that. Going in. Burn. Was never in doubt.
End of the lifeboat!
I'm gonna enjoy this.
Come get me!
We're gonna make you have a bad day.
Gotta give it my all.
Don't let him escape!
HQ, this is Sector 8, Unit 2. Target is surrounded. Moving to secure.
Wait! I know that.
Sorry, chat, let me take a look and see what I've been missing. Cloud, you can't escape the nostalgic bait in this franchise. Ain't that the truth?
No need to assume the
If they could
worst.
remake Final
Sure
Fantasy 1
he's
through 6,
fine.
would you like to be done like this or in
Actually,
HD
didn't
2D? So,
Guy's
in the
a
classic
soldier.
example of
Goddamn one-man
fans don't
army.
know what they want, but they know what they like, I don't know what I would want from a Final Fantasy 1 through 6 remake, but I know I would certainly like if they did Final Fantasy 5 and 6 in the HD 2D style that Octopath popularized. I know I'd love to see that. And include all the content from the GBA version.
You had me worried for a minute.
Have I seen Sleep Easy's videos about the lore and details in the remake plot? It goes deep. Believe it or not, I don't like lore videos. I'm not a lore channel myself. I cover story, not lore. And when it comes to Final Fantasy lore, including the 7 universe, I don't know, I like to think I'm pretty up to date. I'm not sure what he would talk about that I wouldn't know, because I played all the games. I didn't play the mobile games, which apparently they just killed First Soldier, so I don't know if that's something that's worth recapping. I've read, I mean, I've watched like the outside media. I don't know. I'm pretty good on the lore.
They were.
If he's the type of lore person though that goes into speculation and theory crafting, I'm gonna tell you that's a hard pass for me. No offense to lore channels, but a lot of them bleed into theory crafting to try to explain the gaps and the plot holes. I don't like that. I steer clear of that. You'll notice that when I tell a story, I don't explain to you why. I just tell you what happens. You can fill in the details yourself. It doesn't always all make sense. And even if it does, it ain't that deep sometimes.
Lucky us. We've got a crowd to hide in. Head for the front of the train and hold there.
An emergency schedule is now in effect. Your understanding and cooperation is appreciated.
After just going the original, most of the parties felt like to the wayside. That was one of my complaints since the moment I played that game back in the day. Is like, how come all these people are still traveling with us? A lot of their arcs were already like introduced and resolved. They basically were glorified guest characters. I remember her because even though she comes to be later as an NPC, she's such a distinct looking character and she steps in your way that you can't help but immediately notice her presence.
Why don't you learn to take a hint, buddy?
Trying to talk to you.
You're holding up pretty well, huh? Even after what we saw at the station and all over Sector 8?
I'm a soldier.
You see, my daughter now lives in
my
Sector
hands are
8,
still
so
shaking.
You get used to it.
Something to look forward to. Or maybe not.
Why don't you learn to take a hint, buddy? Little help, Cloud, please?
Don't be stupid.
Yeah, the slums need power too.
I can't stop thinking about it. The bomb I made shouldn't have produced an explosion that big. It doesn't make any sense.
The explosion triggered a reaction with the mob.
CyberConnect 2 was originally going to do Final Fantasy VII Remake. Oh, interesting.
Shouldn't a reactor have fail-safes to prevent that kind of thing? You mentioned invisible enemies back there, right?
But yeah, that was what I was talking about earlier, is that
No.
if I were to rewrite parts of the original Final Fantasy VII, you know, who cares? Who hasn't had this run through their head? This is the closest I'll step to fan fiction, is a rewrite. Is I would make the game just about the characters that they actually centralize, which is Cloud, Tifa, and Barret. Because in the original, it's Cloud, and then Tifa and Barret are support characters, and then everyone else in the entire game doesn't matter. I would probably include Ketchi, but at the same time, no one else in that game matters. Everyone else should just be a guest character, because that's exactly the capacity they serve in.
What kind of maniac?
There's twice in the original game that party is like talking about stuff, and they're like, we don't even have a reason to be here. Why are we here again? And they have to actually explain to the side characters why they're here to begin with, and they don't even competently do that. It's very weak writing, and that's something that, seeing the cohesion and the writing, the inter-character banter that they have in this version, much better, and something that I hope that doesn't need to be addressed, because people are actually on the same page this time around. We'll see how that pans out in Part 2 and Part 3.
Just who do you think you are?
A law-abiding concerned citizen.
Law-abiding? Really?
Shh. Don't antagonize him.
In my humble opinion, that explosion was a message. A message to the bastards bleeding our planet dry. Think they got it? Heard it loud and clear? Y'all's masters?
The fact that nobody recognizes Barret just shows how small-time he actually is in the greater scheme of this city. That even in, you know, in Avalanche, per the actual, which I'm glad they brought in here, where like they're not even the main Avalanche. That's something that was from Before Crisis. And they're just a fringe extremist group. Even core Avalanche doesn't agree with what Barret and his splinter group basically does. And he's so small time, like even he can talk to, you know, Shinra officers, and they don't even know who the hell he is, even though he has such a distinct profile.
You hear that suit? Shinra creed my ass.
I can't sit down on this train? What if I'm tired? There's no actual interaction with this game. 0 out of 10 game. Cannot sit down on a chair. Ugh, this game. Next gen my ass.
Let's get this out of the way.
Can't even change my
Personally, I
pants.
find visual aids make the dull stuff a lot more bearable. If it helps.
Edgardo,
think of it as
ouch.
an initiation
What did I say
rite.
that was so
How
hurtful?
many times do I have to tell you people? I'm not...
I didn't think I was saying anything controversial.
So, here we've
But
got
I'm
a
always up for
wireframe
discussion,
model of the
because
great
that's the
city
cool
of
thing,
Midgar,
is that
complete with massive
everyone
steel
here,
pillars
myself and everyone in this
suspended
chat,
300
are going to
meters
have
above
different
ground level.
perspectives on
The
what
top
we
was
experienced,
filled
what we
with
took
shining
away
pink
from the
in
message,
civilization.
what we chose
The
to
whole
indulge
system
in,
was sustained by the
even in
Mako
terms of how
reactors,
long,
which
how
feed
much, or
insatiable
whether or not we even
appetites of the
played
public.
this game,
The train will
the
be
original
passing through a
7,
marking checkpoint
any
shortly.
of the 7 verse
This here
games or
is the
expanded
train's
media,
route.
everybody's
As you can see,
experience and
it'll
interaction
take
and,
us around
and
this
level of
main
engagement's
pillar.
different.
Look, we're about halfway through it now.
And sometimes the conversations
They
that can
set up a
happen from
checkpoint
somebody who
here to
has
scan
a
the
very
IDs of all
low level of
passengers heading
engagement
in
to
and
somebody
out.
who is
Date of
super
birth,
steeped
residential status,
for
criminal
lives
history,
and breathes this stuff.
all
It
that
can be a
info
very
is
fascinating
automatically
conversation.
cross-referenced in their databases. Public
Sid
security
matters
doesn't
regarding
have
to
any
ties to
other way.
Shinra and transportation.
That's
No,
it.
he doesn't. Sid does not matter at all.
Your
You
IDs
can
are
progress the
checked.
entire story without Sid. Sid's interaction in terms of his plight, his reason for even joining and questioning Shinra, was very shoehorned in, because the party went to him for the same reason Shinra went to him, to steal his plane, which Shinra didn't need to do, because he took a plane to get over there to steal a small plane. That's nonsense. They retconned the technology in 7, even between 7 and Dirge of Cerberus, where in Dirge of Cerberus suddenly everybody has hover bikes all of a sudden. But the plane, you know, the group was looking to steal transportation. They didn't need Sid for that. The whole excursion of going into, for example, space was just there to fulfill Sid's personal story, but the moment they went to Rocket Town, did the whole thing with Sid, and left Rocket Town, Sid's relevance to the story immediately evaporated. They didn't technically need to have Sid. They could have had anybody fly that plane. They just did it for the purpose of having relevance to it. They assigned him that role of, only he can do this. Well, not really. There are plenty of pilots in the world. There's plenty of pilots in the world, because pilots are not a short commodity in this world. There's other space programs. He's not the only person to know how the space program works. They solely injected that into the game to give you no option, but technically he didn't serve a purpose. And even his reason for joining the group doesn't make sense, because later when we talk about the whole thing with Sid and when he goes to space and he's like, look, I like Shinra because Shinra proves that humanity doesn't need to rely on magic and bullshit and mysticism. We, with our own ingenuity and strength, can figure out our own problems. And so he believed in the strength of humanity just like Rufus and just like Shinra did. He never really believed in the motivation that the party has.
Now get some R&R.
Red 13 literally didn't matter for the entirety of the plot. You go to Cosmo Canyon, you are then introduced to who Red 13 actually is, his backstory, his tragic sob story, his problem, and then in that same exact arc, you get the resolution, him growing up and getting over it, and then you leave Cosmo Canyon. And at no point do we address that, at no point do we talk about it again, and at no point does it matter. Red 13 does not matter. They are self-contained arcs. They enter the town, they get their backstory, and then you leave a town and it doesn't matter again. And when you have that, where you can just snip away that story segment because it's so self-contained, you literally harm the relevance of that character for the rest of the story, because they did not write that character in for the rest of that story. Ketchy, however, mattered in the story. That's the only one I will give. And of course, it's kind of hindsight now to say, okay, well, Yuffie and Vincent also didn't matter because they were, of course, side characters. They weren't written into the story to begin with because they were optional characters. Let me tell you something though, back in the day, so many people, because they didn't have a guide, guides were a very rare thing back in the day, didn't even know Vincent existed until the Advent Children movie. We're like, who the hell is this guy? And why is he such a badass? Most people did not know who he was. They're like, why they include this guy who you saw in the coffin that one time? That's so weird. Plenty of people did not know the trigger for how to recruit Yuffie, so people are like, who the hell is Yuffie? It was so common. And then the movie retcons their relationship, saying, oh, everybody was friends, everybody, like, you know, power friendship. That is bullshit. In the original 7, none of them are friends. They never say the word friendship once. That is not their relationship. They retconned all of that.
What the? You okay, buddy? Mako junkie, huh? Figures.
Sid, Vincent, Yuffie, and Red 13 do matter. They make up people outside Midgar that give a crap about the planet. They don't give a crap about the planet. Yuffie's concerns are not regarding the planet. Sid's concerns are not about the planet. Vincent's concerns are not about the planet in so much that later it turns out he's actually a hidden weapon. Their primary motivations are not about the planet. That is not their motivation.
When I get back, it's refueling time.
And you, Jesse?
Yuffie's motivation is all about Wutai.
How I screwed up?
Huh. You're such a kidder.
Like, the moment you meet her in Crisis Core to the moment you encounter her in 7 to the moment you talk more about her in Dirge of Cerberus, she's all about, like, Wutai. And, of course, Materia.
What do you know? That ain't half bad.
Marlene.
Drop package you here because your girlfriend's mad at you? Oh, well, hopefully you can settle that out.
Daddy, you're home.
Marlene is actually one of the best written characters in this game because they actually write her like a kid. And you may be thinking, how hard is it to write a kid? No, 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 no. You don't understand. There are so many pieces of media where they write children as, like, adults but shorter.
Where'd you get
And that's not how kids talk or act.
the last time I saw a real one.
Sometimes they do. But, like, I really question, like, how much have you interacted with children that you can write them and miss the mark this bad? But they write Marlene like a little kid, and I like that.
When did you get so thoughtful?
A guy can change. Has been 5 years.
Huh?
I need to talk to Barrett.
Right. Come on in.
Sid changes his mind after getting the big materia on the space shuttle. Oh, you mean after they loaded that nuke onto the shuttle and then fired it and the group sabotaged it, and then when it blew up and didn't work, they laughed at Shinra for, your rocket plan didn't work even though they're the ones who sabotaged it, so how could it? Which I always thought was a very dick move on part of the party. Like, you didn't let Shinra even have it. Like, Shinra tried more to save the planet than the party actually did, if you really look at it. If you take off your filter.
Until I'm done with this.
Me?
Yeah, you.
The party did more harm to the planet than Rufus did. Rufus is actually the low-key MVP.
Yeah, your money. Ask Tifa. She takes care of all that.
Stand Up, by the way, one of the most impressive pieces of music in this game. Have you noticed how short the loading screens are when playing the PS5 version? It's been a while. I'm sure they're shorter.
Hey! The hell you think you're doing scaring my daughter like that?
Daddy says never talk to strangers.
That's right, honey. I do say that. What a good girl you are remembering Daddy's lessons.
Gabriel, it's the journey, more playable characters, more fun. I mean, from a gameplay perspective, yeah, honestly. But there are many times where having a smaller character party gives you a better opportunity for better interpersonal relations. You have more of an opportunity to develop a shorter cast. Sometimes having more is not better. If you have way too many people, like, let's just throw it out there. Let's say, like, Type 0, for example. Having a baker's dozen of characters doesn't mean the journey's better. But it's okay. Like, that really comes down to the writing responsibility. Quality and quantity have nothing to do with the actual execution of the writing. If you have a competent writer, they can handle both. Or they have more classes, which is arguably the best part of Final Fantasy. It's interesting that half the Final Fantasy games don't even use the class system,
There's an empty apartment in a place just down the road.
or even
It's
archetypes
nothing
that resemble
fancy,
them. They
but
really don't.
I was thinking you could stay there for now. The landlady's a big friend of the cause, so you wouldn't even have to pay rent. Sound good?
Sure does. Thanks.
Look at that guy just crossing right between us.
Follow me then.
And look, you see that girl
How
again.
was it up on the plate?
I like how they keep foreshadowing the importance of this girl.
Sorry for dragging you into all
And they
this.
even
It was
put
wrong.
question marks on her name right there, which is good
I
foreshadowing.
promise I won't do it again.
Dangerous part of the job. Don't worry about me.
I'll try not to.
Always happy to help stick it to Shimmer.
How'd that go?
Not good at all.
I don't know what it is, but my life feels so
So, you make nice with everyone?
Much as I could, all things considered. Maybe not enough for them.
Good.
During this game, when at the end when they introduce Red 13 and he's just a guest character,
I'll give you that.
I was kind of thinking like, oh man, it would be cool to play as him because he, you know, looks and plays so different. But at the same time, like, I'm actually okay with him being a
I
guest
saw
character
Sector
because
8 on
that's
the news.
kind of how he was originally.
It was like a
But
war zone.
again,
The news is just another.
what I
Shimmer
would
box.
prefer is let's flesh him out. Let's flesh him out more. And let's make him more entwined with the overall
It
plot.
wasn't that bad?
Let's motivate this. Because one thing that Remake does towards the end that the original one doesn't do, like it doesn't do very well at all,
Good old
which
Stargazer
is
Heights.
it unifies the team against Sephiroth. And it does it early to where it matters. Oh, they did fix the door. The door doesn't look like shit anymore.
Don't have time for much else.
That's
what with
good.
Seventh Heaven and all. Not even time to decorate.
Because as you know, in the original game, Sephiroth isn't present until the very, very end. Everything you think you're fighting a Sephiroth is just a Genova.
Don't worry. I already told the landlady about you.
You did?
And so you think you're chasing Sephiroth when you're actually just chasing Genova.
Oh, I mean, I told her I had a friend looking for a place to
And
stay.
most of the time,
Was that
Sephiroth
too
isn't
much?
even indirectly applicable to most of the
And
characters.
this?
That one's,
Like, if you need 3 degrees of
you
separation
know
to
what?
give a shit about Sephiroth in the original,
I'll
that's not
introduce you
good.
tomorrow.
That's not a good binding motivation. That doesn't make the ending fight any more personal. They're just there just to support each other. But in this one, they actually unify them now against Sephiroth early on, which is good because now everybody's on the same page narratively. That was a good fix to that.
It's a little bare, but should be enough to get you through the night. If you want anything else, we can always
There
get
is
it.
one thing. My money. You guys owe me 2,000, remember?
I do. And we'd love to settle up, especially since this was your first job for us, but
That's it?
sorry. We spent the rest preparing for the mission. That really is it. But not for long. I'm collecting money for filters tomorrow, so I can pay you after.
And you're sure about that?
Of course, as long as you help, that is. Wait, then I'd have to pay you for that too.
Oh, and one more note about the players don't know what they
2,000's enough.
want, they only know what they
That's what we
like.
agreed on.
Remember the whole
That'll be the
Tifa
price.
controversy where
With what you gave
there was
me,
a very vocal
that leaves
minority
15.
who was upset about
the
the
best.
proportions for Tifa?
I'll see you bright and
Be
early
like,
at the
oh, they
port.
nerfed her chest size. I'm like,
Thank you
oh,
for
it's still
that.
pretty ample, quite
Sleep
frankly. But that whole quote-unquote controversy, yeah. Like I said, different people with different takeaways and different expectations. Yeah, let me throw this 500 gil onto the 500,000 I currently have on my character right now. And I think establishing this as well was also good to do early on. See, sometimes when you have story revelations come out of left field, that's just jarring. Setup, foreshadowing, transitions, all that matters in terms of a nice, steady story experience. Because then what happens, even if it's not quote-unquote predictable, it's within the realm of predictability that you kind of would expect it to happen. So when it comes, it doesn't come as a total surprise. You're like, oh, that happened, and that made sense. Versus, oh, that happened, what the fuck did I just see?
Coming in.
The dude's actually just taking a mean dump. I love that. I love that one animation because he pulls out this huge sword indoors and it hits the ceiling, which to me is one of the most grounded, realistic things that would happen in that situation. Is having a ridiculously oversized sword is very bad in close quarters. Or not close quarters, but you know, like low ceilings, tight quarters. And so when we're introduced to the reunion later, oh, I actually say it. Well, yeah, the reunion is introduced, which is good. Foreshadowing the different experiments, that's good.
What are you doing to Marco? This is his apartment. He's got a few problems, but he's not a bad guy. The landlady asked me to check on him now and then to make sure he's okay. Can I ask you to do the same?
Sure.
He's like, they call him 49. Why? Why do you think, man? Hey, I don't make assumptions, I'm just saying. This guy are sick. I know, I kind of wish that somebody did say that. Or like they did say this guy are sick. Just as a nod. Let's check the skybox. Skybox does look a little cleaner than last time. It did look like a very flat JPEG. I mean, this is clearly still a wallpaper in the background, but it looks better with the lighting. Yeah. Are we in chapter 3? Chapter are we on? How can we tell? Yeah, we are chapter 3, okay. So, in chapter 3, we have the option of doing all these side quests and stuff, but the only reason you would ever do that is to get the option to choose Tifa's dress later during Wall Market. But if you don't choose anything, she actually picks her mature dress, which is the blue one, which is most similar to the default one of the last game too. So honestly, I'm not even going to do it because the mature dress is what we want anyway, because I kind of want to make this look as default as possible. However, it is worth the effort to get Cloud and Aerith's better dresses to do this side quest in that section. So, in those relevant chapters, we'll do all the stuff to get them the best looking dresses, to pretty them up. The floof on that lady's hair.
Nothing to report. What's gonna happen to Mr. Hank?
My husband decided to go to the States.
Just imagine if rich people start thinking it's...
How's about you and...
The load-in's a lot better. The pop-in on NPCs in this section used to be really bad. It's a little bit better now. That's good. Do you get eggs and chips here? That's a breakfast.
Morning.
Hey.
Just so you know, Marlene's still asleep. Let's get down to business, shall we?
Huh?
These water filters won't replace themselves. Although the next batch probably could, if Jessie put her mind to it. Most every home in the area has one. Folks love them because they practically eliminate the rotten egg smell. Honestly, they make us more money than this place. And it's easy money too. We bring new filters, collect the old ones, and get paid. What?
Give me a break. I'm not a salesman. I'm a soldier.
Which is why no one will refuse to pay. What do you say?
The remake was like 85% nostalgia bait to lure older fan and with a twist at the end to let you know the remake portion of Remake is over. That is 100% true.
Great. And while we're at it, I'll give you
The bait to make people think that this was going to be a one-to-one remake was very well executed. That was such good bait on Square Enix's part. I have to applaud. Whether you like the twist or not, you have to applaud that execution. That was very good. The marketing material, the demo that was just the beginning bombing mission, just to make you feel like, oh, this is you know, a better than one-to-one. This is exactly how I hope they would bring this alive with modern day technology, conveniences, conventions, expectations. Jebaited.
Hey there. Here to change out your water filter.
Tifa, baby, how you doing? Been waiting for you to... Wait, who's he?
Cloud's in charge of collections. He'll take your money.
Sounds like a pretty sweet gig. If you ever need someone to fill in, I'm your man.
In your dreams, maybe.
Huh?
Cloud! Since we're here, maybe we should do a little shopping.
To be honest, the MCU does the same thing with every movie, no one bats an eye. They certainly have the habit of doing that now. I'm gonna buy something just to make this guy happy. Here, I'll buy an antidote. There you go. You made a sale, good job. You're such a good salesman.
Thanks. If you're ever in the market for anything else, drop on by. Especially if Tifa's with you.
We'll see you around, okay? And let us know when your filter next needs changing.
The MCU actually does even a better job of doing deception. Because a lot of times they'll put in fake scenes that are not actually going to be in the final cut of the movie or show. Like, they love to misdirect. I can't help but feel, though, that the MCU people who really like that stuff, and like the fandom, I think they kind of expect it, though. Just as much as they expect there to be mid or post-credit stingers, they kind of expect the marketing to, like, give them a lot of information, but also not share a lot of information coherently, and even be deceived, and just kind of, like, guess what's real and what's not. I think they like that. Not to speak on behalf of anyone, but I think that they prefer that. I think that's part of that culture.
Hey, Marl.
With video games, marketing that's very deceptive is kind of negatively received for the most part, unless it ends up becoming very successful.
Be nice.
And like a couple examples, people remember the bad examples, like, oh, remember how Cyberpunk faked its footage and showed us like fake stuff, Killzone 2. It's like, yes, and they did, which is, you know, marketing's job to, you know, sell the game, and they certainly did. However, there are times like The Last of Us Part 1 or Bioshock Infinite, where what they also showed was complete bullshit, but nobody remembers those examples because people ended up liking what they got anyway. But if you go back and look at like the original E3 and demo like footages of what they showed and what they said you can do and what's going to happen, a lot of it's bullshit. They completely misrepresented the game, but people don't remember that. They just remember the negative examples from history. It's that preference bias. Actually, that's redundant to say that. All biases are preferential.
Been here a while now?
5 years, give or take. But never mind that. We've got to get you your money. Last stop is the weapons store.
Trains don't start moving again.
Don't try anything funny.
Hey, if it isn't Tifa.
You here for the filter?
Hey! That last filter didn't do shit!
We're so sorry about that. Hopefully this one will work better.
When does Rebirth
Save
release?
your excuses and get out!
All right.
Did they even put a year to that?
If you could just settle your bill, we'll be on our way.
The hell? You charging me for your busted-ass goods?
My associate handles payment disputes.
Think you can mosey up in here and have it your way?
Pretty please.
Thank you very much. Seeing as we're done with our rounds and you've got a small
Next winter, next
now,
year?
why not take
Is it
care of the
2023?
weapons?
Okay.
Well, when will Barrett be back with the rest?
That's kind of surprising they're not spacing it out more, given how 16 is right around the corner.
It'll be a while yet, so what do you want to do?
Nowadays, the MCU after credit scenes don't really have any setup for future movies anymore. That's because they have no idea what the fuck they're doing.
Want to hear it?
They don't have a plan like they used to, so there is no centralizing binding note. That's why we don't get an Avengers film at the end of every quote-unquote stage.
Yep. Connections get you jobs.
Because remember, that's what they used to do. They used to have a collection of movies. They kind of like teased a centralized idea, and at the very end of each phase, they would get you that Avengers movie that kind of tied everything more or less together, put a bow on it, punctuated that chapter, and then set up the next one. And people enjoyed that.
Didn't see anybody
They
in
enjoyed
the
that pattern
office,
for 20
so
some
let's
odd
head up
movies.
top.
And when they finished,
No better way to keep you and your
I'm
family
paraphrasing,
safe than with a
but they
weapon
very
on
much
the
did
road.
not have a plan afterwards, and so they just kind of put out material for people to consume, but there wasn't really going to be a centralized point to any of it. It was just, you know, next
Didn't know
product,
you
next
were
product,
holding
next
down the
product.
fort.
Oh, hey, Cloud. Looking to join the neighborhood watch?
And then I think they heard that people wanted, again, they know what they like, and they like the idea of that Avengers punctuation at every phase, and that's why I think they kind of put out that whole, okay, we're actually going to end the phase here, and then we're going to do this, and then we're going to have 2 Avenger movies over here, and they're already shifting that timeline. They put out like 3 different timelines. They can't stick to any of
If
them.
he joined the watch, he could get his name out there.
That would work for everybody.
Truth be told,
I think they just put that out as PR just to do damage control. This is not backed up by anything, it's just purely my speculation. But
for example,
I feel like they're doing that just to try to gain any good graces, to get people to really kind of stick in that same boat and try to settle in for what's going in. Because they don't have an idea what's going on. It's kind of like what they did with Star Wars. The Disney sequels, I hate when people call it a trilogy, because trilogy is presuming that there was some sort of cohesion between the films, like there was an actual overarching storyline to bind them, and that was clearly not the case.
needless to say, you'll have to try it out to appreciate the difference.
Thanks.
They're just putting out more movies.
We'll do you one better. Spread the word to everyone who listen about the new Merc in town.
Between him and Wedge, there isn't anyone they don't know.
I'll march
The
through
danger of the
streets
way they're
singing
doing
your
it now is
praises,
that
even on an empty stomach.
So, where are
whereas the original version of like the Avengers phases 1 through 3 all kind of had like keep an eye roughly on each other to kind of have some level of continuity. The current stuff doesn't give a shit about continuity, and it is painfully damaging to when they attempt to do things like crossovers and winks and nods to each other. It's pretty weak. No offense if you're a really big cinematic universe of Marvel fan.
Scrap Boulevard is out west. Past the barricades, supposed to keep the monsters out. Anyway, we should prepare, just in case.
Everybody does. Folks who are topsiders. That who Wedge mentioned? That sword's massive. What does he sell again?
Good luck, Tifa, and be careful.
Here's Scrap Boulevard.
I can see why monsters would feel right at home.
And the more we pile up, the more they show up. And there's our first challenge. Show me what you got, Cloud.
That's that.
Hold on. Yeah, this is what I thought. I hate how pulled in the camera is in battle. Even 3 I think is not very good. I think I'll keep 1 for the cinematic look for out. Like, this is fine, but it needs to pull out during battle.
So that's what a soldier looks like in action.
That's what she said.
This is just a warm-up.
I'll bet. Let's keep at it.
D. Davis, I would have been fine if MCU ended with Endgame. I think a lot of people feel that same way now. Now that they've actually been given what they got. Where they're like, I think it would have been better off if we just got out while the getting was good. But you know that wasn't going to happen. There's no way they could leave that much money on the table. People finished at such an epic climax. And no, they wanted more. Did I miss something? Or was that it? I'm totally not even paying attention. Did I finish the side quest or not?
If any harm comes to her,
Nope, still not done.
Tifa, and be careful.
What am I doing here? Too busy talking to chat, not paying attention. I guess this doesn't count as chapter 3? How come it's not giving me this chapter 3 stuff? Just get rid of monsters? Okay, I must have missed a pack. toward Destiny I actually didn't want more. Felt it should have ended. I kind of feel like they probably should have too. I think they should have done a giant generational gap instead of doing the multiple passing off of the torches like they're doing. Such as, you know, they finish Endgame, and then, like, if they're gonna do more Marvel stuff, it needs to be, like, 100 years later.
Charging in like it was nothing.
Or even, like, 1,000 years later, like, who cares? It's just, it needs to be a big enough gap to where you're not gonna lean on the nostalgia weight and star power of the previous, MCU phases.
Alright, I think that might be the last of them.
You can start with a whole new fresh crew, no ties that bind, no burdens. People can learn. They have a new starting point in case you didn't match, you know, the last one. You have a new entry point for newcomers. You can appeal to the young crowd and the old crowd. You have a new chance to do different stuff. It would have been a better setting off point, but no, they try to have their cake and eat it too. Where it's like, look, it's a little bit of the old, and it's a little bit of the new, but mostly new. And then people are like, is this going anywhere? And they're like, who knows? It's like the meme says, just consume product and look forward to next product. The shows didn't help because you can tell there's no play in random shows to help Disney Plus. Yep. 100% true. And the shows are hit or miss. For sure.
No better way to keep you and your family safe.
Remember, there's no better way to keep your family safe than with a weapon of your own. I'm going the wrong way.
Back already?
By the way, my name is Oni Black Mage, and even in a linear hallway corridor story, we'll still get lost. Be prepared for my bafflingly adept scale of getting lost.
I've got to ask though, what did you tell them?
It's alright. All you gotta do is keep up the good work. It'll pay off soon enough.
Gabriel actually bought and played Final Fantasy IV the after years after my recap. Wow, that's impressive. I never think that sometimes my recaps will inspire people to buy a game. I'm glad that it did, though. I hope you enjoyed it. Because sometimes, and this is probably my bias that I'm projecting onto other people, but I often think that sometimes people think, oh, if I know the story of something, I'm not going to actually play it for myself. You know? Which help inspire that whole 1-year cooldown I used to have. But I think people like you, Gabriel, and other people that have come to me, or even myself, I've slowly realized I'm overthinking it.
It's a long story.
If people are interested in buying a game, or if the story even intrigues people, yeah.
That sounds great. I'll come too.
No, you won't. Run along now, you two.
Just tell the story and let people make their own decisions for themselves. Who cares? If they want to get the game, if they don't want to get the game, if they want to watch the movie, if they don't want to watch the movie, if they know the ending, they don't know the ending, just let them pick their own, you know, let them make their own choices.
Since you got yourself a new weapon, let's see
I'm not
if we can't
helping or protecting anybody. I should just do what I'm
Let's
doing.
go chat up Weimer.
Who?
The guy who tracks all the requests that come to the watch. You never know. Could toss some work your way.
You never know, it could have consequences later in the
Should be back
game.
at the office by now.
And I think that's the reason why I'm going to start transitioning into doing more new release games for Recap. If they come out with an extra story chapter, great. I'll cover that a little bit later. There are very few series where that actually matters.
Hey there, Tifa.
Like, yeah, like with Persona, for example, you know they're gonna come out with like an extra game or something like later, but would it really be so bad to know one version? Yeah, with Final Fantasy, they come out with DLC, but you notice how much they've scaled back on doing DLC?
I'll take on anything for the right price, that is.
I say that, but I still need to cover A Stranger in Paradise.
If it's a challenge you want, I might have a few.
I actually still haven't played that, so that'll be a fresh playthrough.
Prove yourself at these jobs, and I'll see if I can.
Even though the story DLC for that is still ongoing. How many quests do I need to do?
Whoever wants for work around here if you prove yourself useful.
Cloud! You were the first to gather the data I requested. Here is the rest of your payment. I have developed new materia. Would you like to see it? I plan to develop more materia in the future.
Oh, this guy over here, he's not giving me the new dialogue. He's already assuming I've done the quest, which I have.
Which I hope you will assist me in completing.
Normally he introduces himself here. Oh, is this gonna give me?
Could be you found
Wow,
a calling.
good for me. I guess I beat that quest super easy.
Was alright, I
Go
guess.
me.
Think of each job as an opportunity, not to make money.
Things
but
are
to build
unpredictable when it's New Game Plus.
It's not what you know, but who.
You remembered.
Not a patient teacher.
JLOS23 with the 10, thank you so much.
Next time.
Your recap of Magna Carta 2 and Lost Odyssey caused me to buy and beat both those games. Thank you for that. Hey, thank you! First off, for that very kind, generous donation, but also, thank you for playing that. I think Magna Carta 2 and especially Lost Odyssey, I cannot shout out that game enough. Lost Odyssey, super good. Anybody here who has the opportunity to get Lost Odyssey, do it. It is such a good RPG. Criminally overlooked. Especially if you're a fan of like turn-based systems that actually matter. I wonder if I'm gonna get credit for finishing this quest just for talking to this guy.
Hey there, Tifa. Welcome back.
If I don't, I'm not gonna do it.
Mercantown looking for work, right?
Yeah.
In that case, maybe you could do something about the Doom Rats? Them and their were-rat buddies have been tearing up town, looking for food and whatnot. Got into the store and made one hell of a mess, let me tell you. Oh, you think that's funny, do you? Don't
Actually, there is one quest we should do, and it's the one with the, where we help out that God, what's his name? The redheaded guy.
Probably nesting in the outskirts. Now I've heard a were-rat in pain will call its friends for help. And the whole rat pack will come running just like that.
Edgardo, you got the Roronoa Zoroark. That's very accurate. Like, if there's, first of all, my favorite One Piece character is Sanji. I've always liked Sanji the most, but yeah, I absolutely have Zoro's problem. I can get lost in a room with one exit. I can get turned around in a one-way hallway, because it's hard to describe. I know it sounds comical, but hear me out. This happened actually just the other day when I was playing Sniper Elite with a friend on stream, and you pull open a map, and you see that something's over to the west. You know this, you know the direction it's at, but when you open your mouth and speak, you say, oh, our next thing's over to the east. And you know you mean west, and you think you said west, but you actually said east. It's just a total disconnect between what you think and what you do. And the problem is that sometimes people like me are so confident in my decision making that I can either A, get other people lost with me, or B, I will go in a direction and not even panic or think that I'm lost because I think I'm going the right way. Until I'm like, huh, this is a dead end, I'm going the wrong way. Where am I supposed to go? It's so hard to describe because you have to really place yourself in someone else's mindset that just, it doesn't seem natural, but that's the best way I could describe it. And the thing is like, oh, well, just read the map better. No, I'm reading the map fine. It's just that what I'm thinking and what I'm seeing is not translating to what I'm doing and what I'm saying. And I can't help it. Johnny? Yeah, it was Johnny. Thank you.
Apparently it was done by a terrorist.
I'm also terrible with names and faces, but that's just me. Being terrible with names and faces is a side effect of doing recap, because what you have to do when you do recap is you have to quickly gain a sensation of
Something's wrong. Let's check it out.
that's the main quest. Let's not do that. Which one's Johnny's? Is it Lost Friends? No, that's the cat one, isn't it? Is it a nuisance in the factory? Actually, you know what, chat? Here. Let's go ahead and just do the side quests on this one. Because I don't remember which one leads to Johnny.
Don't take your eyes.
Hey, this looks like we've got the latest and greatest Shinra brand goods.
Hello, hello.
And so you have to basically learn all the new characters, all new mechanics, all new world lore, all new in-game terms, world lexicons, mannerisms, characters, plotlines, backstories. You have to understand all of it, and then you quickly have to memorize it, translate it, transcribe it, and then explain it to other people, i.e. the audience, who've never heard of it, don't know, don't care, and you have to basically go in assuming they don't have zero foundational knowledge, break it down to them, and then you yourself have to flush all of that knowledge out of your system, because you have to now start over from scratch in the next game, where we have a whole new set of characters, a new world, new mechanics, new locations, new continuity. All of that's brand new. And you have to do that over and over and over, because if you don't, here's what happened, and I almost get caught like this, you're moving at such a pace where one world's like lore and knowledge can bleed into the next one. And so sometimes you're blurring the line between similar themes or characters or storylines, and you are going to mess up. And so to avoid that, you have to flush it out. And so doing that over and over of learning, memorizing, relaying, regurgitating, and then deleting over and over and over on basically a bi-weekly basis, and man, it messes with your ability to remember things. Because sometimes you remember things for the short term knowing you have to forget it later. And so that's why sometimes it's like, you can play a game several times, and when you're talking to somebody who maybe has a very expert or very focused knowledge on something, it can be frustrating because you know what they're talking about, but you've already flushed and erased that knowledge because you have to for the next assignment. Where am I going? I'm going in the wrong direction.
And drop your tools. Take your time.
Really, game? You're not gonna let me cross past this way? Come on.
Don't rush it and drop your tools.
Stay away from me.
Oh, this is the Johnny one anyway. I have to do anything. Okay, good. I don't have to do any of the side quests. Do I avoid stairs like Zora? I don't. I don't have a fear of stairs.
I didn't do shit. Shut up, punk. Or what, huh? Screw you.
Gabriel, what I do is badass. Thank you. Not enough people know about Breath of Fire. Exactly. I understand that Breath of Fire is a dead series. I understand it may never see the light of day again. But I really do believe that that series, like many other series that I'm working on slowly but surely, should not be forgot in the annals of time. As we come across new IPs and new ideas, I feel that we should always be building, on the shoulders of things that came before. Draw inspiration, there's no such thing as original idea, but there is authenticity in how you can present it. Like the whole hero saves the world, that's not a new story, but it can be told different ways in new and interesting ways that are still fascinating to somebody who may not be familiar with that delivery. That's what makes all these stories different. And if I can just do something for that preservation of the story, yeah, I feel like I'm helping. Because there are too many stories that are just forgotten. Sometimes they're forgotten by the actual publishers. Like, how many times do we get games that are just deleted? They're not preserved. They don't know. And it's an unreasonable ask to talk about it to somebody like new, fresh to the genre, and I use this example with Final Fantasy, for example. It is still common to this day where people don't want to jump into Final Fantasy, say, 16, because they're like, whoa, Final Fantasy 16? Dude, I haven't even played the other 15 Final Fantasies. And you're like, two things. Number one, there's actually 50 Final Fantasies. And you're like, what? And it's like, yes. But the good news is they, for the most part, have nothing to do with any of them. You can jump into any of them, and they're pretty much standalone stories. And they're like, okay, so where should I start? Innocent question, right? But is there really a right answer? No, there isn't.
citizens don't steal blasting agent.
Because what you like and what you've played and what you experienced has nothing to do with that other person. They can want, like, experience and expect different things in you. It's like food analogy. It's like a sandwich. Say I don't like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, but you do. And you're like, so what looks good on the menu? What right do I have to decide whether or not I'm going to recommend a peanut butter and jelly sandwich based on my own personal experience? You know? And it's not as easy as asking somebody, well, what do you want to play? They don't understand that capacity of a question, and something is vague in just this one subseries. It's a vague question getting a vague answer, and that's really not that productive for anyone. I love that the benches have the save icon on that. I thought that was such a cute nod. There's a game on Kickstarter that inspired by Breath of Fire called Tears of Magic. Looks promising, hopefully gets made. I am cautious about many of those projects. Not to sound negative, because I often sound negative, it's very easy to do. But not to sound too cynical,
Let him go.
but I am very wary of any games, especially on Kickstarter, that say, inspired by, love letter to, homage to. Because what a lot of those are saying, I'm trying to make a second-rate version of this other thing you have high nostalgic values for. And that's not a good place to start your design.
Try this. So, is it over?
What now?
He's a talker.
Huh? Whoa, whoa!
No!
Huh? You're not gonna... Hold up! Wait! Don't do it, man!
You want to live? Then get the hell out of town.
You got it, boss! You ain't never gonna see my face again! I swear!
Are you sure about this? It's a big risk.
I know, but it's fine.
Stapleface, not enough people know about Einhander. Exactly.
No more.
Honestly.
Cloud.
And I'll be honest,
Scaring me.
most of Recap is driven out of frustration, anger, and spite. Because,
We need to go before they wake up.
and this is gonna sound slightly complainy because it is I really wish there was a better effort done on behalf of like wikis or fan wikis, because most of their summarizations and synopses are
I'm
garbage.
worried about Johnny.
They either dwell way too much on details that don't matter, or don't explain context, transitions, or significance at all. And they just talk about very general talking points. Or you go on YouTube and people are like, here's a recap of blah 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 something in 5 minutes or less. And it's just a very cartoonish, very lampoonish parody of the story that, yeah, it's funny for entertainment values, but it really doesn't answer the core question of what happened in whatever story. And so I'm like, damn it, why can't anybody just make just a recap of something that just cut and dry, all killer, no filler, play-by-play of the most important parts. And it comes down to, you know, to pull back into MCU. God damn it, I'll just do it myself. And if I could pat myself on the back, I like to think that I've gotten pretty decent at it so far. Every time I make a recap, I really do try my best. That's why the few times you can catch me catching an error, I think is very fun. Because out of like the thousands and thousands of lines that I put out there, if I ever mistakenly like misspeak or say the wrong thing or get a fact wrong,
And here we are.
it's kind of nice because it so very rarely
Same
happens.
as you, I guess.
I try very, very hard, and I don't have an editor. I do all this by myself.
How about a refreshing cocktail made by yours truly that you can sit back and savor?
I honestly just wanted to play the new Breath of Fire games on newer systems. It would be nice if they did.
Hey,
Just have a collection. I love those little collection series that they do, especially like the Castlevania ones. I think it's fantastic. I want them to do the Castlevania collection now for the DS titles, because low key, if you haven't played them, and I'm gonna go ahead and challenge anybody, the DS series. And now we don't need to head out of town. Oh no, any active quests? Yes, I do. Don't need those quests. The DS series of Castlevania games are the best in that franchise.
We're back.
By a country mile.
Have fun?
Lots of fun.
Hey, need y'all downstairs.
Right now? Then the plan is...
Marlene, wanna go wait for Jesse out front?
Okay.
Looks like we're officially on for tomorrow night then. Gotta go over the details with the others.
Before you do, about my pay.
You'll get your money. So sit down and shut up until we're finished. Double time, Tifa.
I'm really sorry, but it shouldn't take much longer. In the meantime... grab a seat.
Vision, the DS titles are great. Vision, I disagree. I think the DS titles are excellent.
I don't know. Something hard and bitter.
But I'm with you. Those DS titles, do not sleep on them. People sleep on the DS titles for Castlevania, they do not know what they're missing. That is peak Castlevania. And even if you like the Igavanias, it's also peak Igavanias. They did everything right and refined more in the DS series. It's crazy. You're going to the Distant Worlds concert? Nice. I was invited to that event that was over in LA, but I was busy that weekend. Yeah, out of town for something else, but I was flattered to have been invited. They actually would have covered my ticket. I was like, damn, really? That's so cool.
Our house special, the Cosmo Canyon.
I hope that they
Beautiful.
they extend that offer in the future. I thought it was very flattering. I think I'm just still very small time, but I'm flattered whenever somebody extends that, saying like, hey, based on your content, we'd like to extend you this thing. It's like, whoa, really? That's super cool. Very generous. Edgardo, what you just said always bugged me about some recap videos I've seen on YouTube. Trust me, it infuriates me. No disrespect to those creators. They're just out there having a laugh, having fun, entertaining people. Nothing wrong with that. But it really bothers me. And again, it's not the people's fault per se. But when they actually take the joke summary version and they think that's actually how it is, and they think the meme is the truth, they can't differentiate, that really bothers me. I'm right there with you. I hate it when they watch the mediocre recaps and assume the series is just like that. Exactly, I 100% agree.
She was never on board with the bombings, so if it comes down to do or die.
And no offense to the other side of things, I believe brevity,
I'd rather that someone was
even though I know some of mine can get up to the hour range-ish, I believe in brevity because there are some people's summaries that are a little too granular. They get down to details that quite frankly do not matter for the story, or, worst case, people think lore is story. You can include some lore to explain the story, but lore is not story. You can have a story that's lore, but lore is not story. What's the difference between lore and story? It's very simple. Lore, think of lore like a history lesson. It's what happened in the past. Story is what you're doing right now, what you are doing in the here and the now. That's the story. Lore is the history of what led up to this point. That's the difference. That's an oversimplification, but yeah. Can I speed this up, or do I have to play the game? I don't want to play this game because I did it already for the, I remember the first time I did this, chat had to explain to me how darts work because I didn't know. I'm just gonna botch this real fast because I don't care. Oh, you can just quit? Perfect. Because I only did it once for the achievement. I wonder if it's still up here. Yeah. First place. I just did it for the achievement. Thank you for that, because I'm not really good at darts. Because, man, here's the thing. People... Vision, you saw a Final Fantasy X video that had lore and story, but more attention to lore. Yeah, that's the problem. You do not need to know the tenured history of Spira to understand the journey that Tidus and Yuna and all the rest of them are going through for that journey. You do not need to know that. If something comes up that's relevant, like, oh, here's Lady Yunalesca and all that, when it becomes relevant, then you can lightly touch upon it, but then move on. That is not important. You do not need to know all that. It's really not relevant.
I heard you're having
But, you know, some people want different things. I get it. Different strokes for different folks and all that.
We have to think big if we're going to make a difference.
I am a story channel. I am not a lore channel. There are lore channels out there. Please indulge. Absolutely. But that is not what I do here for Recap.
Don't do it.
Also, what's kind of weird sometimes is when people come up and say I do reviews. I have done reviews, and if you are a subscriber, then you also get my Deep Cut series complimentary for every recap, which is a rant slash review of whatever recap game it is. So you really get my brutally honest thoughts.
That's that then.
And appraisals.
What, they kick you out?
But formal reviews, I liked writing them. I realized I didn't like people watching them.
You want another drink?
I like articulating my ideas, but sometimes like you explain everything you like and what you know, evaluate and appraise.
Oh, sure.
And the conversation that results sometimes from that is unproductive. It's like, I already said my piece, I don't want to say any more, but people want to say more. Whatever.
Fine by me. That's how
Module Cell with the 3, thank you so much, man. Fist bump right back at you. Love to see you, man. Thank you.
The rest of your payment, along with a little extra for your exemplary.
Hey, Resident Belmont here? Hell yeah. High five.
Business. Gonna have to ask you to leave now. This here's a private affair.
See that foreshadowing.
Sorry, I tried. We talked it over, but in the end, we didn't want to put so much on you. This is our fight.
Jesse, what's the holdup?
Be right
But this
there.
is my story.
No hard feelings, huh?
It's fine.
Let's talk more after I'm done here, okay?
Really, it's fine.
Come on, Jesse, I'm dying here.
I'll catch you later. Sorry to keep you thirsty boys waiting.
Can I finish my drink? Ah, this game doesn't let me finish my drink. 0 out of 10 game. Complete failure.
Keep it tight. Ain't no room for
No interaction whatsoever. Can't finish drink. What a wasteful game. I can't believe human trash made this.
It's been too long since we did this.
Not since we went on that old...
So what? Now you give a shit about the cause? Okay, what were we talking about?
They did not give us the boot.
It was an amicable separation.
Just thinking about it's making me mad.
Cornelius loved the recap of the Castlevania games recently. Absolutely, and we're still not done. We still have a couple more to go. We still have Legacy of Darkness, which includes Castlevania 64. We have the Lords of Shadows series, and I'm trying to figure out a way to make Judgment coherent that's worth doing. Because technically Judgment exists, and Judgment is important because it ties together the multiverse that is Castlevania and explains the multiverse more or less. Even though it's, by itself, not a very well-told or even very interesting game. I'm trying to figure out something. But yeah, we're almost done with Castlevania. I love the Castlevania series. Man, it'd be really cool if I didn't have the entire sector play Fall and Crush Me. What are the odds of that happening now?
Word is he lives in this town.
Tunnel snakes
Shut
rule.
up and wait. We'll find him soon enough.
can talk to me about Judgment if you want. No, I mean,
I guess.
I have Judgment in
No
the
big guy
bag,
with a big gun
but
strapped
we'll
to his
see.
right arm? Heard he set up shop somewhere in the neighborhood.
That depends.
Ah. Clever. Smell an opportunity to make some.
Where do these guys
Strats
come
with
from that they're not aware of Barrett in this sector? How many dudes with gun arms do they know that they can't narrow it down?
Man, let's find somewhere quiet to talk.
This really isn't that big of a town. I love the swagger of these dudes. Especially Bell Bottoms over on the left. Look at that duck walk they got.
Move it! I said move!
Look at all these.
I think their pants are on too tight.
This shithole's got nothing on wall markets. Am I right? Word of
I hope they
advice,
snap their
Lonnie,
fingers when they
don't piss off
walk.
My friend here, you'll be real sorry.
Unless you got some kind of death wish, then be my guest.
Want to play the Castlevania games on the 64, but hope they end up on the Switch Online? Me too. In fact, why not both? I would love for them to appear on the Switch Online library, but they absolutely need to be part of the Castlevania collection. Just put Legacy, 64, Judgment, and the Lords of Shadow trilogy. Honestly, even if you just put Lords of Shadow trilogy and Legacy of Darkness, I would be okay with that, because that would be like the 3D ones that kind of matter. You can throw in Judgment, but don't put too much effort into Judgment.
Spill it. You know where the bastard's hiding, don't you?
I told you before. That depends.
Oh yeah? You wasted my time.
Shinra's time, you mean?
Shinra knows better than to stick its nose in my boss's business.
Like I give a shit. You go all out. Enough.
Felt this good before! Good!
See ya.
I ain't afraid of throw one!
Big man. So if they weren't Shinra, then... not my problem. Lesson 1 for life on the ground floor. Get some rest.
No finger snapping is a Turks thing? Oh yeah. Love the Turks, by the way. That's a game that I absolutely want a remake of, is Before Crisis. I think that could be like, take basically Type 0, but make it the Turk story in the FF7 verse, but make it modern controls like what they did with 7 Remake. I think that would be fantastic.
Yes, enjoy yourselves. It's like they don't even care.
And then give us a resolution assist, Nay. I'm hoping we get that with the Crisis Core remaster. Is some resolution to Cisne,
My husband decided
aka Shuriken.
So they blew up a reactor so they could save the planet.
Welcome home, honey. Took your sweet time. Psych.
Are you gonna let me in so we can
I
talk
doubt
about
anybody
it?
can find it on the internet, but if you could, it would be amazing. But once upon a time, there was a Final Fantasy VII voiceover project. Like so many times that happens, you know? And I was actually scouted and offered a role, and they said, based on like the lines that they had me read, they wanted to offer me either Barrett or Rude.
Proposition.
And honestly, I chose Rude because I'm like, I don't like Barrett.
Gonna have to ask you to keep all this a secret from the others, though.
But if this is Final Fantasy VII Remake, I would much prefer, I like that Barrett. The Barrett in this game has really good writing.
Tonight.
So I took
you and
the
me
role as
together.
Rude, and so I did Rude's
I want you
lines.
to come with me to the Sector 7 plate. I'll give you the details on the way.
The project didn't pass through, obviously it didn't see any notoriety, it was just fun to do. I'm just happy to collab. but it would be funny to see if that's still online somewhere. I never kept the link and I didn't like download it for myself, so who knows where it is.
I can count on you, can't I? A down payment.
Another useless healing materia, throw it in the pile.
Doubt we'll be back before morning, in case you were planning on traveling light. Make sure you've got everything you need before we leave. I'll wait here.
They could have done that with the resources they used for First Soldier. Dude, exactly. Honestly. And I really do have to ask, did anybody in chat actually play First Soldier? Or at least try it, like a beta or something like that? Because I really wonder if anybody did like the story cutscenes that allegedly had that's, you know, all canon and stuff like that. If there was anything relevant to the FF7 verse. That's the one blind spot I have, is I didn't bother with First Soldier, so I don't know how relevant it actually is.
Awesome. Meet me at the station after dark. Don't be late.
It's just another job.
Huh? Huh?
Tough break. They changed the times. Last train's already left. Which is why we borrowed these bikes. Need a lift to the plate?
How did you guess?
Easy. You've been acting weird. Like talking about one thing when you're obviously thinking about something else.
Yeah, and don't get me started on all that pep.
All right, I'll give you that. But how did you know I wanted to head topside? Was I talking in my sleep? What else did I say?
No, we just figured you wanted to see your parents, that's all.
Nailed it, huh?
Yep.
That was a lucky guess.
So,
So, with you being extra peppy and then talking about one thing but thinking about another, we deduced naturally that you want to go topside, sneak on there, and talk to your parents. Either that's the most lucky guess, or they clearly were working on different information.
Okay then. Guess you're all
Vision, thank you so much for the for joining up the membership. I appreciate you, man. Here's your hat, here's your robes, high five. Thanks, man. I appreciate the support. Ever Crisis needs to, in my humble opinion, and my humble but accurate opinion, needs to settle all the retcons for the entire FF7 verse once and for all, outside of course, the remake continuity. They need to just settle up, fix as many of these gaps as they can.
Yeah.
Just so you know, I'm not going plateside for the reason they think I am.
I know you're a chronic liar.
Look, you saw the way the reactor went up. It was huge, right?
Because of all the Mako. Isn't that what you said?
Yeah. That was wishful thinking. Deep down, I know it was my fault. I used a more powerful blasting agent than the directions called for. It had nothing to do with the Mako.
It wasn't my fault. I got it from a guy on Reddit. I trusted him. He seemed legit.
Say you're right. So what?
I'm planning on using a weaker blasting agent this time. But
I got it from wish.com, so it has to be inferior, so it shouldn't be bad.
Shinra? Good luck with that.
With your help, we won't need luck. ID scan, ready?
Okay.
So far, so good.
All right, here comes
Accelerate, brake, guard.
the fake IDs may have held up, but from this point on, if we get pinged by a
Attack
scan,
left, attack right.
Come for us.
yeah, what he said.
Oh man.
Oh, you can skip the bike minigame. I forgot about that.
No need to worry. We've got Cloud, remember? Hey, you do know.
Now I'll get this for footage.
Soldiers get mandatory training.
I forgot that once you beat the bike minigame, you don't have to do it.
By the way, make my head spin with your amazing skills.
Don't blame me if you get sick.
We've got company.
Someone's having fun.
How can I not? Suit by suit, a young couple thrust together like fate race through the neon street night.
Get off.
Not much of a challenge, huh?
Not gonna lie, I did think this part was very cool.
Straight to legal force?
What, do you just pull over if they ask nicely?
Got a point.
See? So don't go holding back now. Have the cold-eyed mercenaries' hearts suddenly begun to melt? I won't forget that. Wait, is it
I'm kind of down for how they rewrote Jesse as super thirsty for Cloud. Not gonna lie.
I think we've bitten off more than we can chew. What do we do?
Shut up. We should keep our distance to be safe, yeah?
See you later, bye.
Hey, Cloud, need some help here.
Where that random trash can come from?
Moving to intercept. Got more company.
A-team's here.
We'll make this down to that.
We're not screwed, are we? Can't catch a break.
Oops.
Come on, we need backup.
How do I do the attack?
Wow, Cloud, you really
It's locked on, but how do I do the attack? Okay.
We can't take them by ourselves. I suppose you got it coming. Make it look pretty easy.
Okay, guy.
Could've brought some popcorn.
Maybe I can't do it until Roche is here? I don't know.
Heads up! Drones!
One thing after another. Come on, Wedge, gun it. I am gunning it. We're good. Nothing about this is good. You got me. Fair enough. All right then, do your thing.
You better hurry.
Oh, I see. I have to hit triangle while locked on. Got it.
Some super secret technique? Fancy name for it?
Of course not.
Feeling good back here.
It's where they would put all the instructions on the upper left and then put the one attack button on the bottom left. It's like, why would you do that? Just put them all together, man. It's okay. You're making me read that section anyway. Trust me, guys, I played this game once. Like I said, you gotta flush it and forget it. Guilty Spark, how are you doing today?
Soldier en route. HQ's saying he's less than a few minutes out. Copy. Think it's him? More reason to finish this quick. That kind of trouble.
Jesse, look out! Hey, you okay?
Not much of a challenge, huh?
Screw this! Damn it! That's an ex-soldier for you. Next to him, we look like kids on trikes.
You're damn right.
The only reason we're moving in the correct direction is because the game is auto-driving for us.
We made it!
Woo! Topside! Keep going till we hit the station?
No, head straight for the warehouse.
Yeah, I would love to see more Roche as well.
Why are you talking like we're not
I'm sure the positive fan reaction and the fact that they put out, like, what, a $400 statue of him means that they do see the potential in Roche.
not over yet?
2 for 1, baby.
Cloud! Little help?
God, you're really good at killing people at high speeds. That's what I do.
What's up? Break off before he shows. Copy.
What's going on?
Keep yours and integrate at least? That's good. That's something to look forward to. And honestly, good in showing just the capabilities of more soldiers, other than like deep ground, I think is good.
Well, hello. Who's this? Too quick for the eye. You cross him, you die. Now, mind if I cut in? Woo! Splendid! I've been looking for a new dance partner. Private party, huh? That's fine. I'll settle for a race then. Just one.
You talking to me?
I most certainly am.
Didn't know.
So terribly sorry. Your words failed to reach my ears, sluggish and slow as they are.
What's this guy's deal?
A lady's curiosity has been piqued. My name is Waltz, but you may address me by the more accurate appellation.
Damn. I need to watch out for that.
Heard that, huh?
My ears are attuned to the feminine voice.
Ugh, they's the worst.
Yes, yes, this is the contest I've been waiting for.
Steady.
Shall I keep you company? Too slow. Give us a smile. Come on. Look more dancing if you did.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I only have eyes for you.
What is he up to now?
Same shit. Being a dumbass.
Not bad. You have promise and an abiding affection for your mount. But one cannot simply ride one's bike. My heart beats faster by the second.
I'm waiting.
2.
Steady.
Nay, one must unlock its true potential. Become one with the machine.
Steady.
Like this.
Come on.
What a wonderful gift you've given to me. Enjoying yourself? What say we shift it into high gear?
Missed me.
How did he pull that off?
Nice.
Had enough?
Don't be absurd. As if I could ever
I know, like,
get tired of your
you see that level of skill between a true soldier riding and not. But I guess, you know, Cloud figures it out by the time Advent Children happens.
compliments will never end. Going for me.
See, the twist is that they actually augmented the motorcycle. Roche is actually just a normal dude.
Come on, let's push it past the red line.
Jesse, take over.
You gotta give credit. The fact that he did like that full attack, like that braver on the motorcycle, and just kind of slightly scratched the paint, you gotta compliment Shinra-made products. Like I said, that's a Mako-infused soldier first-class motorcycle.
Until we meet again, my friend.
A normal dude can send slash waves? Yeah, anybody could do that. It's not a big deal.
Don't get too excited.
You can learn that stuff online.
Reinforcements are hot on our trail.
Again, it's because he's attached to the motorcycle. It's the only reason he can send out those shockwaves.
You passed the test.
What test?
Driving.
Been driving for years.
So you don't need a reward?
No.
Roche has the Excite Bite materia? Yeah. Honestly. I feel that. Oh, we got the good ending. We got the kiss. I know if you take, like, depending on how much damage you do, depends on how much of a quote-unquote cutscene you get at the end, the reward. But yeah, honestly, I respect Jessie for like, going up and actually, you know, shooting her shots, playing her game.
Giving me the cold shoulder?
My pauldron's always cold.
Would you look at that? It's the end of the ride.
Yeah, Edgardo, because if you take like, I think like, what, I took like, what, 30% damage? I think if you have like above 70% or something, then you get that cutscene. If you get like 50%, she's like, okay, you did okay. And then if you have like really bad damage on your vehicle, she'll be like, you kind of suck at driving.
Don't worry, we'll top you up soon enough. Now let's roll. The residential area is just beyond this gate. Mind doing the honors? You've got an arm on you.
See you later, Belmont. Yeah, please look forward to this. I probably won't be doing, like, obviously the full playthrough now. We'll be splitting this up, and probably next Saturday we'll do a little bit more, the next Saturday we'll do a little bit more. Probably once we finish up this chapter is where we'll probably call it for tonight.
The planet. We were living the good life.
Do alternate scenes based on choices or performance cause issues for your recap? That's a good question. If it's plot relevant, yes. The fact that Jessie gave Cloud a kiss is a nice, but honestly, if we cut that out, it doesn't change the story. The litmus test for the relevancy of anything is always, if we cut this out, what changes in the story?
Folks here must be living off
Nothing changes based on his performance, but I'll include it anyway. I may not even directly reference it. I just may just casually be like, alright, and then they drove, and Jessie thanks him for the ride, and then just show like the kiss, and that's it. Just a side couple words, and that's it. Because it's really not that important. It's just a nice to have.
She's quite the cook. Quick to whip up finger-licking food, even if you drop by in the dead of night.
And she loves guests who ask for seconds or thirds.
Somebody animated this hose being wound up here.
Cloud, you know what to do.
And they wound it up so neatly, I'm so jealous.
Okay.
Look at this hose. Man, look how nice that hose is. It's so good. So clean. And they even detached it from the wall before use. Like, anybody could steal it, but obviously it's a decent neighborhood. Nobody stole that hose. It's a good hose.
With your help, we won't need luck. You'll take on just about any job, right? Well, I need you to rob my house. Think you can
Anglo-Saxon Connor lost interest in this game ever since the company went bankrupt and merged. Their investors made movies, and they treat games as such by releasing games out like multi-part dramas.
Back door when the coast is clear. The signal will be obvious.
Be more specific. Are you talking about when Squaresoft merged with Enix back in the day?
Once the lights come on, it's go time. to go?
Because I'm not exactly sure what you're trying to say. You may want to clarify that so I can understand what you're trying to come at. Because when you say the investors made movies, like, what investors? Are you talking about Square Enix shareholders? Those guys don't make the game. That was completely a writing and directing choice. I will say this, though. The emphasis on visual fidelity and cutting-edge visuals has actually always been part of the Square DNA, even back in the 80s and 90s. They've said as much in their early games. They basically want to make games as visually impressive as possible. They've always tried to push that. So, while it has not been to their benefit, I would say recently, given how incredibly expensive and how inflated the effort is to just prioritize art over execution, it is incredibly expensive to draw all those eyelashes on a character, for example. And it's part of the reason why Square Enix, and a lot of its poor management, which it has been poorly managed over the last decade, I would argue, has had comically ridiculous sales expectations to help cover the costs for all that. Their emphasis on visuals has always been part of their brand, I would say. People have come to like that about Square and Squaresoft into Square Enix, which is their games look good. So I'm not entirely sure what you're referencing, Connor. If you could just clarify a bit.
What's this?
Dear Mom and Dad, sorry for not getting in touch sooner, but I'm working at the Gold Saucer as an actress now. It wasn't easy.
Spirits Within was the only Final Fantasy that was a movie, not a game, right? No. They've made, of course, several animated shorts. And they've also made, in terms of like feature-length films, they also made Final Fantasy VII Advent Children and Final Fantasy XV Kingsglaive. Both of which are very important to the story and lore of both of those sub-universes. Spirits Within, believe it or not, is a good sci-fi movie that was unfortunately marketed to be a Final Fantasy movie. It was marketed horribly wrong to the wrong people in the wrong way. If you watch it now, and you watch it just as a sci-fi movie, it's actually pretty good.
Thanks.
But if you come at it thinking this needs to be like a quote-unquote Final Fantasy movie, first off, what does that even mean? What does it mean to be a Final Fantasy movie? Also, the perspective of this makes Cloud look super big and her dad looks super small, like he's a little kid. I don't know, perspective. But yeah, it's all about context. History won't remember it as kindly, but people can go back and change their mind. No one remembers Final Fantasy Unlimited? I do. That was that anime series. In fact, okay, I take it back. I say I remember it. I remember watching it. I remember loosely. But I couldn't tell you a thing about it. It was so forgettable. I think it came out in some relation to Final Fantasy IV, though. Like thereabouts. It was just the mid-90s.
Mission accomplished.
When are you going to give up on the Gold Saucer? How long has it been since you even performed?
Mom, I'm part of the red bandanas now. We all wear red bandanas.
As a stagehand, though, right? You can be one of those anywhere.
Have I seen Spectral on Netflix? I think you recommended that to me one time. I still haven't taken time to see it, Alessandra.
I'll think about it. You know, I'd really love to stay and chat, but...
No one remembers the Final Fantasy VII anime sequel?
Yeah, well, we hadn't even planned on dropping by. But Wedge wanted some of your famous pizza.
So good.
Sure I can't tempt you with some more?
There is also, you have to remember that in the 90s, not a lot of anime left Japan. So a lot of like OVAs and animated films, we didn't really get all that much.
I'm planning on using a weaker blasting agent this time. Since I can't get in touch with my supplier, our only option
Old man
is the
here
real
talking,
warehouse
but
owned by Shinra.
remember back in the day when you said you watched anime and you found somebody else who watched anime? It's because you watched the same 3 series that were released in America, because that was pretty much it. It was just like Akira, a couple of weird random sub things, Dragon Ball Z, and Sailor Moon, and that was pretty much it. I think there was one other series, but that was pretty much it. Like, everybody saw that, and if you ever went and rented it out of like Blockbuster, you got like 2 episodes per VHS.
So, we came all this way just to eat pizza?
No, this is before Toonami. Toonami's when like anime started becoming a bit more mainstream.
Every slice helping Cloud. Just do the thing where you draw everyone's attention.
And then we started having more series come over to America. And now when you ask somebody, do you watch anime? You have to say, which anime? What genre of anime? What subgenre of anime? Which series? What seasons? There's so much mainstream anime right now that you really can't keep up with literally all of it. I mean, you can certainly try. There are YouTubers that do. But that's just, it's so crazy how far anime's come in America over like the past 20, 30 years.
That's your cue. Rush the front gates and make for the
Parents
warehouse
freaking out how
plaza.
violent those
The more
cartoons
hell you
were.
raise, the more
Honestly,
time you
yeah.
burn.
But here's the thing, though. Unlike like literally almost everybody I knew, where it's like they watched anime almost like it was like porn, and they just kind of like hide it from their parents. My dad was the one who introduced me to anime. My dad watched the old like 60s like Astro Boy, Gigantor, Yusha Raiden, like 8-Man. He watched all that stuff, including the hyper violent 80s stuff where people just like geysered fountains of blood. Like, I saw all that stuff, so I was already normalized to anime as a kid. And so when everyone's like, oh, I had to, like, tell my parents I watched anime, I'm like, my parents were the one who introduced me to anime. I guess I lucked out. Clamp, remember Clamp? And all the super wiry people.
Worked her ass off for years, until finally she caught a break.
People are like, I don't get these Chinese cartoons.
And then, right before opening night,
Her dad had an accident.
Collapsed from overwork.
But yeah, it's like video games. Video games used to be just like a closet basement hobby that was like just for children to sell overpriced toys to them. And now video games is one of the most profitable sectors in the entertainment industry that exceeds the profitability revenue of movies and television. Actually, I think definitely movies and books. Maybe not television, I don't know. I don't have those recent numbers, but video games is huge. And the scope of video games covers everyone from age like 5 to 95.
Unlike most of the time.
Again, now it's not just if you play video games, it's what kind of games do you play? And even now we can't argue about commonalities.
Life itself, of memory and hope, is not something you burn in a reactor just to keep the lights on. Hell no. Oh, don't tell Jessie about this little chat, okay? When she gets pissed, ooh, she gets punchy.
Well, no promises.
He's serious, Cloud. She'll beat the shit out of us.
Not my problem.
Maybe you're a bitch.
This guy.
Hey, it's the lot Jesse was talking about. We rendezvous here when we've got what we came for.
Gotta stay hidden. Wait for the signal. Just need to get past this gate.
Wait. Where are the guards?
Oh, and I just remembered that I never finished my talking point super long ago last chapter when I talked about having an unrealistic expectation of people playing all these Final Fantasy games when 16 comes out. It is such a hard ask to tell somebody, well, just play all the Final Fantasy games, you'll be caught up. That is so unrealistic, man. Can you really expect somebody to drop and play 30 some odd games just to quote unquote get to the same level you were afforded just to look forward to a Final Fantasy 16? Nah, you just play Final Fantasy 16. Who cares? It doesn't make them any more or less of a fan. It does make them more or less engaged. It makes them more or less experienced. It does mean they have less perspective and context, but it doesn't make them any less of a fan.
No need for us to rush. Let's scout it out first.
I can handle this solo.
What? You're trying to keep us out of it now? Don't be a jackass.
It's better to tell them to read the wiki, how dare you.
Don't expect me to save you.
If you need to check your gear, now's the time. Give the word when you're good to go.
I haven't checked my gear since I started this playthrough. Honestly, this loadout got me through hard mode. I don't need to change it probably. Except for probably when we fight
Rounds before the main event.
Reno and Rude. Because I think I have it on actually. Okay, yeah, I just need to put on lightning armor after I beat Airbuster, because then if you put on like lightning resistance, then Reno's a joke.
I get really hungry when I'm nervous.
Remind me, you've got summoning materia, don't you? There's no better way to deal with big groups. You'd be crazy not to.
I got Fat Chocobo, baby. Let's go.
Okay, let's go over the plan one last time.
How do I feel about Final Fantasy 16? I'll let you know once I played it.
You start things off by cutting loose.
But here's the thing. I think Final Fantasy 16 will be my first, okay, not first, second attempt at recapping a brand new game. The first time was Bravely Default. I did it, and then I regretted that decision back in the day. But now thinking back, I probably should have just stuck with my guns then. There really isn't a problem with recapping a brand new game.
So, what did you want to talk about?
When spring comes, I'm leaving town. I'm going to Midgar.
This is the most unrealistic part of Final Fantasy. Somehow this kid's a preteen and he doesn't have a super squeaky voice like his balls didn't drop. That is.
But I'm not like them.
I'm a big kid. I'm gonna go there and work and be the best soldier there ever was. Squeaky.
I'm gonna be a soldier.
You're gonna be a soldier.
The best. Like
best of the best. That's an actual preteen boy. We all know.
Isn't it pretty hard to become a soldier?
Yeah. So I won't be back for a long time.
Guess not. Think you'll be in the papers?
Really want Final Fantasy VI Remake? Yes. And at risk of sounding like a complete tool, despite everything I just said, I don't want them to change anything except the visuals. Just do the HD 2D and just do all the GBA content. Just do that. But if we are going to go crazy with it, here's the thing. I haven't played it yet. And it is, follow me here. I like the bold and different direction they took Final Fantasy Origins with. Whether you like it or not, they did something different. They did not stick with the safe and boring and predictable way of let's just make a hyper-realistic version of Final Fantasy 1. And even tell it from, like, you know, Garland's perspective. No, they went crazy with it. And honestly, that's refreshing, and I'm cool with that. Because we have so many remasters of Final Fantasy 1 that are just marginally the same exact game. We don't need to do that again. Some people may disagree with that, that may be all they want, but you have those versions. You have 10 versions of Final Fantasy 1 you can play.
Think big if we're going to make a difference.
Let's do something different. Let's get crazy with this idea. Let's have fun with it, and I think that they did.
I feel trapped.
Now, I have no idea because I haven't played Final Fantasy Origins, so it could just be a piece of shit game, but I appreciate the effort and the idea and the inspiration behind it. Like, let's just have a wild ride. Let's just enjoy this roller coaster.
That's the signal.
And that's part of the same mentality of what I liked, and I agreed with them when they went into 7 was saying, look, we did want to, like, start with the familiar and then go in a radically different direction. We know that's going to divide people, and boy, did it ever. But it's unpredictable now, and that makes it so much more interesting. Don't you think? Whether you like it or not, you have to agree. You can't predict what's coming, and that makes it, that mystery makes it intrinsically more interesting.
Maybe they went home. Hey, over there.
Meanwhile, you got Sony Interactive Entertainment remastering games that came out in the last 5-6 years. That's boring. Those are cash grabs. Those are just port jobs. That's lazy. That's why nobody will remember those. Yeah, exactly, Alessandra. Taking a risk. Is the risk going to pay off? Not for everyone and not all the time, but you take the risk. Nothing ventured, nothing earned. Or nothing gained, something like that.
See ya.
I'm overwhelmed, guys. I need my summon to kick in and save my butt. I'm overwhelmed.
Oh, you gotta be shitting me. Give me a bit more time and I got
And to go back to the whole fans don't know what they want, they only know what they like. They will tell you they want the predictable, they want the same. They don't. What they actually mean is they want the familiarity. And you can have the familiarity without repeating the exact same thing, regurgitating it over and over. But they wouldn't know that until you present it for them. And that involves you understanding your audience better.
Come on.
Can I kill that thing from here? Do this. Thanks, man. Appreciate the backup.
Look at us amateurs, putting in the work.
I'm overwhelmed, guys. I need help.
Don't worry, I've got this.
Isn't the whole point of a dog whistle that you can't hear it as a human? I don't know, maybe it's different for whatever those things are. I appreciate the lightheartedness there too. Like, taking a small, like, wry joke like that is something we don't see in a lot of games, including Final Fantasy. And it's not so, like, haha slapstick, even though it was a slapstick physical joke. It was small, it was brief, it didn't overstay its welcome. And so it's appreciated.
You're done. See ya.
How much more time do you think
Let's do this.
you'll need?
Oh, I'm good, man, we're good. You can hear it because you're a soldier? Good point, good point. Forgot about that.
Hell of a show,
Got the
man.
super hearing.
If only the ladies loved you that much.
I'm glad someone's enjoying themselves.
Of course they store mechs here. You ready? Hell yeah.
More than you know.
This white t-shirt's going to protect me from their bullets. At least my shoulders will be okay. We'll save that for later. What spells do I got on me? I should probably just throw out a haste.
Let's hustle. It's on now.
Try and leave them your mind. Got you my sight.
Got you in my sights.
Now that's what I call teamwork.
I'm Soldier 76.
Stay where you are.
Well, shit.
Ah, we're surrounded again. The fact that he just launches his motorcycle from pretty much orbit. And I feel like this is the right balance of, like, anime cheekiness that you kind of want in a scene like this, you know? Where the humor is presented, but it's not like they expect the laugh track to be going off at the same time.
You know what I want. A second.
He stepped away from his bike, but that's the source of his power. Roche, you can't win. You don't have your bike with you anymore. Don't do it, you're too confident.
You turned the key. The engine roars with excitement. It hungers to be set free!
Blah blah darkness. Blah 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 Sora.
Right. Come on.
It's been a long time since I fought a duel out of the saddle.
Exactly, it's made you overconfident.
For all the miles on the clock.
I think, again, this inclusion was good. This is world building, believe it or not. We have a new introduced, we have a soldier who's very confident. Very confident. Thanks, man. Oh, you reset my limit break? That sucks.
Try me. Gotcha. I see you. You've given to me. That's the stuff. Anytime now. I told you we were gonna push it past the red line.
No holding back.
Open up the throttle.
I told you, Roche, you shouldn't have stepped away from your motorcycle. It's where the source of your power is.
Satisfied?
But yeah, it's good world building. That motorcycle is the actual source. You see, the Mako is what makes its headlights glow green. I bet you didn't know. And here I said I wasn't a lore channel.
Higher heights to which you and I can still soar.
Okay, boys, give them everything you've got, but kill the swordsman first.
And they shoot Roche. Not that swordsman, you idiot. So here's the thing. When that thing, I was looking at him, Roche was standing next to his cycle. In the split second that thing accelerated towards Cloud, he got on his cycle, turned it on, revved it up to a velocity that could ram that thing away from him while drawing a sword in literally a fraction of a second. Roche is actually containing... I told you, his true form is when he's on the bike. Watch that bike actually be a summon. You have to fight it in the VR. And the reason why we appreciate Roche, like a few other people in here, like Jules, for example, later in the gym, is because they don't overstay their welcome. They're used appropriately.
Let's go. Right.
Run! Run while you can!
And then Reg just gets ripped apart in half and this becomes an M-rated game.
Friendly! Friendly! Stand down! Your team shouldn't be here. Glad yours is.
This is when I really started to appreciate them connecting the games properly, like the retcon of the retcon, such as True Avalanche, the main group versus the Splinter Cells, and how much more professional and widespread they are.
You won't be if they start asking questions.
And who are they?
First guests to the party. Another
And same thing, which I look forward to seeing what they do with Deep Ground in Intermission, because again, that story element, yes, it's introduced much later, but I'm glad that they introduce it now, where it should be.
So then why are they...
I'm curious though how much of that Deep Ground story they actually go through though. I mean, we'll find out, but that much I'm curious.
So they're the ones running around with mil-spec gear. Word is, they cut a deal with Wutai. Promised them all the materia in Midgar, apparently. Think there's any truth to that?
You tell me.
Sometimes...
No, I haven't played Intermission. I was saving Intermission and any potential DLC for this instance, where I'm gonna get everything for recap footage.
Okay, mission complete.
I've 100%ed this game, but I didn't play a single second of Intermission. Also, when Intermission came out, I didn't have a PS5 at the time.
Security's out in force.
I guess you could argue getting it on PC, but whatever. I already owned it once, I wasn't gonna pay for it again.
So are we not gonna wait for Wedge?
If we stuck around or went back, we'd only get upset.
Why is that?
Because a soldier wouldn't understand. I'll tell him you're worried about him, huh?
Many of our citizens have already been disturbed by the alarm. Squad A will set up here and search for suspects. We will establish a perimeter, roadblocks included. Contain the situation.
You made it! Over here!
Okay, form up, let's go!
Could you have been any louder? I mean, it made my job a lot easier, but... Wait, where's Wedge? Wedge! That was close.
We'll go get him.
Hey, buddy. How you doing? Come on.
Not my finest hour.
You get hit?
Just swinged, I think. Oh, shot!
JLS, there's no reason why Intermission couldn't have been on the PS4 as well. Well, to refine that, there's no good reason why it couldn't have been on the PS4, because it absolutely could have been, and should have been. They just wanted to gate that behind picking up a PS5 and playing the content on there. It was absolutely a marketing deal. Because Sony wanted to sell you a PS5 version again. Is the short answer, basically.
It's not safe here. We should go.
Copy that.
Get more people to buy it on PC? Oh, sure, but remember, they weren't allowed to talk about that there was even going to be a PC release until a year later, which was when the contract expired on that NDA.
With a little trick I've been dying to try out.
One thing a lot of people forget is how many times Sony has specifically written up deals to where they lock content or even mention of content to their console. A lot of this came out during the Apple versus Epic court, where they released, if you ever want to really get some good meaty discussion, check out the emails, company disclosures, and contracts that were released during the investigation. It showed where Sony, kind of like what they did with Resident Evil 3, told Capcom, you cannot put Resident Evil 8 on Xbox Game Pass, you cannot mention it for a full year, you can't make it to where it has extra features here. Like, Final Fantasy is not allowed to be sold or even mentioned in any marketing material. Like, they basically wrote those terms to lock content away for PC, Nintendo, Xbox, Google Stadia, cloud streaming services, because they didn't want to compete. And that's nothing new. They've been doing that for a while.
When we get there, you'll know. Now that I've got my blasting agent, we should have everything we need for our next mission.
And they would have you believe that it's the choice of Capcom or Square Enix to release exclusively due to some, like, buddy-buddy partnership. No. They are contractually obligated to. What they don't disclose is how much they paid for that exclusivity, because they don't do that as a favor, they do it for money. Money changes hands for that stuff. Nobody does it for free.
Sure did. Wants a whole pie to himself. Isn't that right?
That's right.
Really? Well, okay then. Maybe I'll lend Mom a hand next time too.
That'd be awesome.
Super duper awesome.
Should be somewhere around here.
It's also like those same emails where you really get to see how a lot of the top-level management really doesn't like Western studios, to put it politely.
Parachutes?
To put it extremely, would be xenophobic.
What do you mean half-figured?
But that's exactly what they like. Again, don't wait for your news to be filtered. Go to the source. Literally look up the case documents and look at the emails and the contracts that were exposed. Not exposed, but they had to be brought to light for the court case. That's what they actually say. That's what they actually do.
And like I said before, I'd be grateful if you kept this between us until after the mission. I don't want to complicate things.
Sure. Okay, who's ready to fly?
Me?
Hey,
It's more like falling with style.
All right?
Yep.
Wait, I almost forgot. One more thing.
Whoa! Stop it! What in the hell are you trying to...
Easy, you'll make us fall.
Not if you do first.
Swing by my place after, so I can pay you in full.
I wasn't fist bumping you. That just happened to be where my fist was.
Wait! Give me a minute!
No.
You better not pee on the way down.
Such a hard ass, bro.
I ain't your bro.
I wish I could have done more. Just got hurt.
You did enough. You took one for the team. Be proud.
Yeah? Yeah!
Don't worry, Wedge. I appreciate the fact that you were shot instead of me. If I was shot, I would have shrugged it off. But if you got shot, it provided enough of a distraction for me to get work done. So trust me, I appreciate our 1-2 combo here. Where you draw attention by being shot, and I just do all the work.
I'll head home on my own. After all, I'm only a little sore.
It's cool. We'll go together.
Aw, thanks, bro.
I ain't your bro.
Cut that out.
This way.
Have you ever seen a dude live with 30 cats? No?
I guess.
Do you want to see one?
If
No.
we check on them, we'll pass by their places anyway.
Sure.
You saw it too.
He runs pretty well for just getting shot in the ass.
Think we'll have to fight Avalanche one of these days?
You'd think he'd want to walk it off. Did he even put first aid on that? Is he still bleeding?
Well, this is Big's place. I guess he hasn't made it home yet.
Guess not.
Hope he isn't worst casing it again. He's got a habit of overthinking things, worrying about all the possible outcomes till his head hurts.
Wouldn't have guessed.
And when he worries, I worry. Yeah. Anyway, let's head on over to Jesse's.
Me wanting to leave Midgard.
Word is, the former reactor.
Dude, you're knocking over everything. This place is already a slum, I get it, but you don't have to make it worse.
This is where Jesse lives. Men are not allowed inside.
Well, it's a good thing you're a
Lots of
boy, I
pretty girls
guess.
trying to make it big on stage live here. So don't hang around or they might get the wrong idea.
Huh.
I'm telling you this for your own good, Cloud. People around here love to gossip.
They know about Jesse.
And I love to not give a
Avalanche?
shit about their gossip.
Nah, it's all good. They think she's an actress. Oh, and one more thing, bro. It's all a game to her. Don't fall for
You lost me.
it. Life's a stage and love's the play. Guys aren't allowed, remember?
Yo, why are you peeking, man?
You know about the secret reactor jobs? Even people from the army.
No one checks on Biggs at this part? You're kind of right. Let's check on Biggs then. Like, where is he?
Yeah, sure.
Where's Biggs' place?
Don't get your hopes up.
To be honest, I skipped past because, and I guess that's just the game training me. It didn't tell me I had the option to. Like, I didn't see it. Like, I did try that door there. So I didn't know I could. Is Biggs one of these places? Where's Biggs' place?
Scares me to
Hey Lynn, how are you? We're actually almost wrapping up.
The trains are running tomorrow.
I'm gonna look around until I can see a door I can open then.
Try another distro route? They say it's smooth sailing once you're in with
I don't remember where Biggs' place is.
Honestly, I wouldn't have ever thought about it. Shinra needs to stop pussyfooting around and take them all out.
I don't remember where his house is. I'm completely lost.
You think that's statement avalanche?
He's standing outside. Okay, well, looking at this map, like, can you give me some rough estimation? Like, is he here? Or is he here? I literally do not remember the path we took to get here.
What do you mean? Or was it fixed? Well, if it ain't, then that means us folks using it alone.
The traditional level.
Because now you have me curious. I didn't even know that there was a scene with Biggs there. Not that I think it matters. But now I genuinely have to see if there's like a missing scene.
From what I heard, the Mako reactors are
Alright, we're gonna look for Biggs. He has a giant red bandana. You think it wouldn't be that bad. Think he's in the middle? Okay.
Me wanting to leave Midgard didn't go over so well.
Try another distro route?
What I wouldn't give to be a cat. They can do whatever they want.
They can do whatever they want. Why do so many choose to hang around Wedge?
Because he
So
feeds
long
them.
as the children are safe, everyone and their mother knows the people who live here.
Alright.
You know about the secret reactor jobs? Even
I stayed up all night thinking about the reactor bomb. Me wanting to leave
Alright,
Midgard
he was not in the middle street.
didn't go over so well.
You want to leave?
Is he down this main street, maybe? I think I'm wandering. Why I'm wandering? I have no idea where I'm going. Tell me if you see him, chat.
Well, if it ain't the new merc in town. Use a bruiser to help me make these deadbeats pay their tax.
He's not here. That much I know. This scene better be worth it.
You think that's statement avalanche?
Well, if it ain't,
If Mako's back for the planet.
Without electricity, ain't no way thinking about the planet dying.
All right, now we're going way too far because we weren't here, I think.
fire's finally out. For sure the whole city.
Yeah, quiet till next.
He's at the end of the part of the map that looks like a corridor. Like that part? Can you give me a little bit more instruction? Is it like... Damn it, why does this map have to be so... Ugh. The zoom, it does nothing. Is it up here? The corridor under the item shop. Okay. Is it this? Is that the access to it? Let's try that.
We ought to be okay now.
I am really intrigued now. I did not know about this scene. If I was a person who enjoyed making bait, like, you know, clickbait videos, I would be like 99% of Final Fantasy VII fans don't know about this cutscene. Okay, I clearly just passed it.
I'll never forgive those terrorists for what they've done to us.
I ain't seeing no prompt.
Shinra needs to stop pussyfooting around and take them all out.
You think that statement Avalanche put out is the real?
You say it's the area underneath the item shop, like... It must be after Jesse? Okay.
Or was it fixed by Wu-Tang to be stabilized?
Well, I just said he wasn't home? Okay. That's what I thought, you know? Okay, we're gonna keep our eyes peeled. It might be after Jesse then.
You know about this?
Okay. Wait, did I go the right way? Yeah, okay.
I'm gonna try to find some litter.
Hey there, Bigums, Reggie, Smalls. Brought a new friend to meet you. These little guys are on guard duty today.
Okay.
Thanks for seeing me home.
Really sorry about your ass.
It's all good, bro.
It's kind of weird when you call me that.
Hey, don't be scared. Deep down, he's a big softie. It's okay.
That's right, he didn't get shot, he got bit in the ass. Whatever,
Good
he'll
job,
live.
Guys. Great work. Aw, I missed you too. Oh, Bigums, acting so tough. And you,
Fight getting
Reggie,
lost?
you
My
are
guy,
just the
you don't
truth.
understand.
Hey,
That's
bro,
my life.
Wanna chill with me and the gang for a bit?
Who's the gang?
The cats, dummy. Who else? Bigamous Rex, Reginaldo, Mr. Smalls.
That's a picture of the map?
Right.
Okay, perfect. Let me open up Discord real fast. By the way, I have a Discord if you're curious. Links in the description below. I hang out there almost all the time. Feel free to discuss, suggest, shout, argue, debate, or just be cool. Chill out, hang out, high five. It's a pretty relaxed Discord server. Although the occasional bar fight breaks out, and that's pretty funny too. It's a working chaos. Okay, right there. Gotcha, gotcha. Okay. Let's check that corner first. But if there's nothing there to interact with, then we'll go straight to Jesse's.
I'm gonna try to find some litter.
You know about the secret reactor?
I should probably go see Jesse.
Or the game is just going to tell me to go see Jesse.
Well, if it isn't Cloud Strife, was wondering when you'd show up. Without further ado, here you are.
Another useless materia. Thanks, man.
Thanks for stepping up, Merc. And now for the cherry on top.
I'm not your merc, bro.
Okay, I get it. Mind letting me breathe?
Depends. Mind coming over tomorrow night? My roommates should all be out for a while.
Are you seriously that desperate? Just let go already.
Only if you promise to come back tomorrow night. Deal?
I like how the options is no and no. Although this one leaves the option to say yes. This one is like a straight up no.
No promises, but I'll think it over.
So you're saying there's a chance.
I'd make a mean pizza, I'll have you know. Marsh, Loosh, Black Millie, Red Shelly. I use only the best ingredients. Sound good?
If you die, you still owe me a pizza.
Oh, you are so adorable, you know that? You just leave everything to me. It'll be great. Nighty-night. Psych.
I stayed up all night thinking about the reactor bomb.
Yeah, there he is.
Me wanting to leave Midgar didn't go over so well.
Oh, hey, Cloud. Survived the jump? How's Wedge?
He's fine.
Well, that's good to hear. Tomorrow's a really big day for all of us.
Actually, I think I've seen this
Wedge
before.
said he'd been shot. I was afraid we'd have to call off the whole
Oh no, he
thing.
was shot. Okay, so he was bit on the ass and he was shot. I wasn't imagining that.
Face Barrett if something had happened. But Jessie'd been acting weird, and I knew I couldn't just ignore her.
Biggs.
She must be prepping the bomb right now. But will she be able to finish before morning? I should go and see if she needs any.
Biggs.
Never mind, I haven't seen this scene. This is new.
Sorry. Our chute was blown pretty far off course. It felt like a bad omen or something. So...
Get some rest. You need it.
Roger.
Night.
Night. And thanks, really. Tomorrow's gonna be a success. I know it. We've all put in the work.
What are you sweeping? You're sweeping the dirt off the dirt road? You're gonna be here all day, man. He's like, it's not, you know, simple work, but it's honest work. He's like not even competently sweeping. Alright, so since we went out of our way for that scene, I almost feel obligated to at least include 1 second clip of it. That was something new, so thank you for bringing that to my attention. I did not know about that scene.
When people find out I'm friends with someone who works at ship.
So thank you, chat. Appreciate you. Secrets like that are what we're all here for. What if I can still jiggle this?
She's probably asleep.
If I can check this out. Nope. Foreshadowing. I love foreshadowing. Nothing like a good awfully suspicious to make you think about what's coming ahead. The first belt is to keep the second belt up straight.
Yeah,
You were out for a while.
just walking.
I ran into Johnny, by the way. Said not to worry, he was getting out of town.
Oh.
No one
that
asked?
You weren't thinking of leaving Midgar anytime soon, were you?
Well, seems this old friend of mine's in a tight spot. A long time ago I said I'd be there for her. Made a promise. So...
Can't say this is quite what I had in mind when I put that on you way back when.
If you want to talk, I'm listening.
Huh? What's with you all of a sudden?
With me?
Like you're losing that hard edge.
That bad?
Not at all. I like it. Maybe Marlene.
You're like a
won't be so
different
scared of
person.
you next time.
It's almost like you're adopting the ego and personality of the perceived perspective of somebody you casually ran into at a mission after you just got injected with artificial alien blood. I mean, I'm just throwing it out there, but you seem kind of off. It's kind of weird.
Late, huh? I'd like to catch up more, but we should probably both get some sleep, yeah?
Yeah.
Good night, then.
Good night, Tifa.
I love that I can access the menu during this. Man, I sure hope some plot device ghosts don't mess with me while I sleep.
What's wrong?
Come with me, quickly.
What the? I can't believe it. They're deviating from the course of the original Final Fantasy VII game. This is outrageous. We need to post this on social media.
The others?
I can't stand this.
Ground, but for how long? I don't
This
know.
wasn't in the original game.
Let's go.
Right.
What are they doing? They better not Nomura this up, if you know what I mean.
Ready?
You know it.
Let's head for the bar.
Any of them.
No idea. Pretty sure you can't even see them unless they make physical contact first.
You can't even see them unless you put in X many hours into the original Final Fantasy VII.
More of them? We're running out of time.
The other way?
Yeah, over here.
I wonder if the regular citizens who can't see the whispers think that the gang is crazy for slashing at nothing? Yes, I absolutely do believe that. I mean, how can you not? Too much plot deviation. It's getting in my eyes. It's blurring what I remember. But I played this game 20 years ago. I have perfect recollection of it. People who disagree with me online are fools. I know I'm right. I saw it in Wikipedia. Which, by the way, slight jab. You know how many times that when I'm doing research for a recapitation, and I go and reference, like cross-reference a certain like interpretation or fact or something on a character, I just want to make sure I get it right, and I go check the fan wiki, and how many times the fan wiki is absolutely wrong. And I'm like, damn, how many times do people check this fan wiki on this exact fact or question, and they don't realize that it's completely wrong.
Thanks for that,
I wonder if I can limit break that thing.
Let's dance, asshole.
Yep.
How's your ammo?
Running low. Jesse.
Damn it!
You see, Jessie was knocked away because she didn't actually play the original game, she just watched a Let's Play of it, and then thinks that by living vicariously through it, she understands the entire game.
Easy now.
Sorry, but that sort of second-hand experience doesn't count for the plot device ghosts.
We ain't putting on a damn show! The hell were those things? Some kind of... I don't know.
Some kind of
Guess I
boojums.
shouldn't be surprised, though. Never can tell what weird shit'll come crawling out of the scrap down
Something
here.
strange in the neighborhood.
It's those
Who can you
reactors.
call?
I'm telling you.
It hurt?
Wish I could say it didn't, but yeah.
Jessie now has to cope with the fact that she had an underwritten character in the original game, and the game doesn't appreciate the fact that they're trying to put more character development and personality in her now. They must conform to the continuity. This is canon. This is canon, they say. They whisper into their ears.
What did you do to your leg?
It's a crazy, noisy, bizarre town,
Nearly as
exactly.
much as the fuss everyone's making.
Still, I think you ought to avoid putting any.
I'm fine.
This must be the work of an enemy stand.
That's enough. You're out, Jesse.
You see, only stand users can see other
What
stand
about the
users'
mission?
stands.
We already sent Biggs in, remember? Don't tell me you're thinking of calling it off.
No, we got this.
The hell you do.
If you need someone to step up, I'm your man.
Are they really ghosts, though? We shot them with bullets. Yeah, but who's to say that ghosts can't be shot with regular bullets? Have you ever shot a ghost with a regular bullet?
So here's
Okay,
the
point
thing.
taken, but still.
I'm gonna need a raise.
Consider it done. All right, everyone. Clouds in. The mission is on.
Bustin' makes me feel
Go
good.
and raise some hell for me, okay?
Listen, Wedge. I need you to hang back and guard the home front.
What? But I'm in perfect health.
Which makes you
Nobody
the
would.
perfect choice to look after Jesse.
Which is why you're best man to stay here.
Hey.
Let's get this show on the road to Mako Reactor 5.
There
Once
ain't no
you got
getting
your gear
off of
in
this
order, head to
train.
the station for the meet. Got it?
Out of all the cheesy lines, that's actually one that I liked Barrett saying in the original. Just, there ain't no getting off of this train. I don't know why. It kind of
This'll
stuck with
help you
me.
get squared away. Don't tell me I never did nothing for you. I'm counting on you, soldier boy.
Anyone have a solid guess as to what the subtitle will be in the third remake game? I would be shocked if it wasn't Reunion. Okay.
Some monsters came into town apparently.
All right, let's get going.
Sure. After you take a deep breath.
Huh?
I can tell you're nervous.
That obvious, huh? Okay, I'm ready now.
Is it early morning or is it just a very weird gray filter going on right now?
Isn't the watch supposed to pick this kind of stuff up?
So when are we getting those? The hell's so bad about you?
Resurrection? I can see Resurrection. Reunion's already used for the Crisis Core remake? Ah, good point, you're right. It would be very tacky if they recycled content, wouldn't it? Everyone knows. Video games don't recycle content. How about Revengeance then? Let's just call it Revengeance. I would also accept retcon. Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3 retcon. I would laugh my ass off if that actually was the case.
Shame the Shinra Creed isn't enough.
Think any topsiders will move on down here?
All right, people. Mission starts the moment we board.
Revolutions? Yeah, I can see that too.
You ready for this?
Rewrite? Yeah. Ain't no getting on of this train.
Do you think Biggs is on schedule?
Repurposed, redone, reimagined.
Today really gotta be the day, huh?
Reality.
Stopping this train we're on,
That would be
son.
crazy.
A lot of people risk their lives to get it rolling.
Revengeance. I said Revengeance, but that's still a good one.
You shut them all down by the day, or we shut another down for you. Ain't on us. Not us.
Sir, have you seen a man with a gun arm? No, sir. This is just a prosthetic. They should be like, what is it from Kingdom Hearts? Reconnect.
This is an announcement from the Shinra Electric Power Company. The terrorist group Avalanche has issued a
Okay, now we're in Chapter 5. Okay, this is a good stopping point here.
We have raised the threat level and entered a state of heightened alert. All lines are currently experiencing delays. We anticipate that our arrival in Sector 4 will be later than scheduled.
The target's Mako Reactor 5. From the station, we take the back streets.
Recoded.
Once
Oh,
we're
Jesus
inside the
Christ, don't bring that up.
It's the same deal as last time.
Head for Mako storage.
And then blow it all to hell. Let's do this one for Jesse and Wedge. They deserve it.
Yeah.
Sure.
They just call it Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3 First Soldier just to confuse you.
I didn't think word would spread this fast. There's barely anyone on this train, and none of them look happy to be here.
Honestly, Wesley, right there, it's going to be interesting to see Ketchy tell Barrett off on not accepting consequences when it comes. Yeah, that was one of my favorite scenes of the original one. There's actions and consequences, actual culpability, and then acting like you're a victim when you're literally reaping the consequences of your own choices and actions. Like, you can't bitch, and you also can't victimize yourself or the other side. It's just people making choices and trying to shove off that personal accountability. I love that when he called him out on his shit. One of my favorite scenes in the original game. All right, let's see. This game auto-saves, right? Hold on. Oh, you just save wherever you are. All right. All right, everyone. I appreciate Barrett giving me my 500 to add to my 458,000 gil that there's nothing to spend on in this game. But thank you so much for joining me. And we will probably do this again next Saturday. Next Saturday is going to be the RECAPitation day. I also have a co-op stream of Sniper Elite 5 playing with my good friend Grim on Thursday. And on Tuesday will be Destiny Tuesday as well. I believe we have a group together to do the King's Fall raid master difficulty. So that'll be a first time clear for me. So if you want to chill out and give us some support, it'll be great to see you. Otherwise, don't forget that there is a Discord link in the description below if you want to join up and keep the conversation going. And please look forward to the next recap that I'm actively working on. Since you are here, I will go ahead and tell you it is Bravely Default 2. So please look forward to that, as I'm still working on the script and editing. So thanks for hanging out, and I will see you guys on the next Battlefield. Thank you so much, by the way. Those of you who are donating, very kind, and those who re-upped your subs. So catch you guys next time. You're awesome.